This guy. This guy. How we doing?
Monday.
Hey, third cup already. I know it. Good weekend?
Just took her easy. Just kind of hung.
It was hot. It was so hot.
Right.
We could use some rain, you know?
My grass is like, hey. Like, hey, I need some water.
It is indeed Monday. We have a case of the Mondays.
It's a question of whether or not you're big on Baltimore. You see, it's right up there. And then prime time. Yeah.
You remember, Blake, when isn't it great when we could just turn off the TVs in the studio and Jake wouldn't be distracted?
I didn't really understand why, but now I get it.
Yeah, I have a severe case of ADHD.
Because I, too, am now wondering, can Lincoln Riley bring USC to the promised land?
What does he have to do this year?
I don't know.
That's the thing.
No Caleb
that's the
Williams
question that
now?
they're asking.
Only answers Paul Feinbaum can provide.
And Deuce.
I think with Deuce Robinson, if they just unleash him.
Just let him go.
If they would let the Deuce get loose.
20 targets a game.
Yeah, he needs to make a little noise in the media. That helped T.O. T.O. Terrell Owens.
I believe the next week they provided him with an end-around handoff. Then went for
just to get
1
him the
yard.
Ball.
Yeah.
So let me tell you where we are and stuff after I just say we got a guy sitting in with us today. You may know him as Danny Balis.
Wow.
Daniel Balis. Did he make an open for himself?
He did. I mean,
a while back.
Okay. Damn it.
I guess I sort of made it, but yeah.
Okay. You just decided let's not use it today then? If you're going to yell at me here? Like, he's screaming at me.
I am not yelling at you at all.
I don't need this.
It's Monday, dude. I would never do that.
So Danny's hanging with us, and you could even see that on video.
For sure.
Today's a YouTube day. Hello, World Wide Web. How's it going? I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jay Kemp.
I'm Blake Jones.
Danny.
Hi, Blake.
That's not really how it goes.
I've already been introduced.
Oh, okay, yeah. Danny Balis.
Redundant.
But also, like, Caitlin could weigh in.
Well, yes. So providing the video today is the great Michael Copeland from...
Copeland Ministries.
Is it CopelandProductions.com? Copeland Production? Or
A Copeland Production.
Copeland. Production?
Yes.
Singular?
Singular. Now do the thing.
Just one.
Do the thing where it pops up on the screen.
Okay. Look at this. Can you have like a little...
You want some glitter? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like a... Look at that. That's why I wear a black shirt.
Yeah.
So you can put the thingy over me.
The text, for sure.
It's been so long since we've seen Michael Copeland. Man.
Look, he's still hot.
He's looking so good. The hair.
He's so good.
He's in great shape.
I look at him and I want to be him.
Yeah. That's the way my wife feels about him when she sees him. She wants me to be him as well.
Look at him. He's got a goddamn Stanley Cup.
But it doesn't look gay. Like
no.
He's just
he
rocking
pulls it off.
He could do whatever. He could have a man purse and you'd be like, oh,
he's got
cool.
He's got a chomp meat stick right now.
He's a big meat stick guy. Anyway.
That's something that I bring to your house and you make fun of me.
Yeah.
He just has it and you're like, cool.
He looks awesome, yeah.
You
look
little
funny.
stick of meat.
With him, there's evidence that the chomp stick works.
Yeah. With me, there's not.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, Jake, you like to put a little meat stick in your mouth, don't you? You homo. Anyway, the reason Michael is here is because it was demanded that Michael Copeland be here by today's 690 sit-in remote host thing, whatever, our second ever visit to Caroline. It's Caroline, correct? Pfeiffer. And she just gives a thumbs up, despite the fact I think there's probably a microphone available to her, or no?
There's one by the chair.
Oh, it's by the chair?
She's humble.
She is. We've been out to her beautiful estate in the past.
Sure.
And she is with her husband, Mark. Now, we are not at their beautiful house. We are instead at Mark's beautiful office, which is...
quite beautiful.
We call him, or he calls him, Mortgage Mark. Like,
okay.
because his name is Mark.
And he
alliteration.
Works in the... You don't do mortgages? So that's what's weird about it. Yeah. So thanks for having us out again, Caroline and Mark. And if anybody wants to grab that mic and acknowledge things, or if you just want to wait till closing remarks or whatever. Remarks. Get it? No?
Mark's remarks.
Yeah. Moment of silence for Richard Simmons.
Well,
Did we kill him?
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know that we killed him, but
It was his birthday Friday, right?
it was.
He
yeah.
made it.
He made it to
He
his
made it to
birthday,
his
and then he
birthday.
said, I'm out.
Yeah, like I said on Friday, I didn't know he was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I thought probably dead.
You thought it was AIDS, right?
I
Just
think
assumed.
you said that.
Okay.
I don't know that I thought it was probably AIDS.
Well, I certainly don't want to throw anything bad on your lecture. There, dude,
I
so
thought that it was...
let's get all mad about it.
No, I'm not mad about it. I thought that it was like that he had, that weird like conservator situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the weekend he just dies.
Yeah. He'll be missed. He'll be greatly missed.
I don't know that anybody's been like checking
we get
for
in shape?
Richard Simmons for 30 or 40 years. I don't really know what he did. I guess he was just like fitness guy before fitness guys were like famous.
No, so back in the day, there was fitness people.
Like Jack LaLanne and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Jack LaLanne is like all tough.
Right.
And badass looking. You're like, clearly, that's a fitness guy.
But so like Richard Simmons being who he was like appealing to women.
Yeah, so he was more of
was effeminate.
It was just get moving.
Yeah.
So
Do something.
yes, he was
It
more.
It didn't mean like lift weights.
More my body type, maybe. Doughy. Probably a little better shape than me, but his was just like, come on, people, let's go. And then it would be a bunch of fat ladies in the exercise class, or, you know, 40-some-year-old ladies, or the occasional dude. But, it was mostly just it was exercise for the normies.
It wasn't like
You didn't have to be intimidated. Yeah,
exactly.
by looking at Richard Simmons up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, again, he will be greatly missed. Our country lost a great man and a great leader.
How old? 76?
No one knows.
Is that right?
That's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
think
No one knows.
No one could
I
know.
think it was mid-70s. Yeah.
I mean, a guy that works out that much, a little young,
You would
right?
expect to keep going a little bit longer.
So
yeah, but he
it's-
wasn't really working out. He wasn't like going to max or whatever, right? Maximum, not max. My trainer. Wasn't doing sprints.
Maximum.
Yeah, like don't you want to like push it? I don't think he was pushing it. Let's do a weekend check, and I'm going to say this weekend check is brought to you by Prosper Ford. Prosper Ford, of course, is where my buddy Chaz Gilmore has opened up his brand new dealership in Prosper, Texas. You've heard of Prosper, right up the tollway.
I have.
Not that far from here, as a matter of fact. We're right off the tollway here at Mortgage Marks. But brand new, certified pre-owned. They have ranges from electric cars to two-door coupes to full-size trucks, and, of course, the SUVs like the Ford F-150, Maverick Escape, Mach-E, and many more. In fact, so I was driving the Bronco Sport. That's my new bit. Is I'm driving the Bronco Sport.
Yeah,
And
that's the car that you throw an apple out of at me.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's because it's called Sport. So
Do you
can
know
do
about that,
sporty
Danny?
things.
He threw an apple at you?
Yeah.
Out the window after I ate the apple. So the Bronco Sport, I realized on the way over here, because I was looking for where to plug in my phone, you don't need to now.
Just set it down.
You lay it on the thing.
Wow, that's
and then
sporty.
it charges the phone. Like, will Ford, like they got their scientists in the lab just working day and night coming up with this stuff for us.
Yeah.
And Chaz Gilmore, Prosper Ford, that's kind of like your hub. The lab is probably there. They haven't shown us it, but you ever
We don't
see
need
like
to know, though.
the Breaking Bad lab? It's like below the ground. You don't know. It could be underneath Prosper
Yeah.
Ford.
Yep.
So maybe go investigate up there. Head up to Prosper Ford. Tell them that you appreciate them promoting the dumb zone, and they'll just look at you like, what?
What?
And then we just
Really
want you
weird.
to buy a vehicle or 2 or 10 from Prosper Ford. Go to prosperford.com and say, I want that little charging pad thing that I heard Dan talking about. So we now move on to...
I got to be honest. I didn't know that existed.
What? Are you kidding?
I didn't know until I got this vehicle.
You didn't
Yeah.
know wireless charging existed?
Not in a vehicle.
Like it's already in the vehicle. You don't have to plug anything in.
I did not know that.
It's great.
We think it's awesome.
I mean, it's been around a while.
I think, in my mind, Prosper Ford sort of innovated this.
They did.
And they should be
They did.
considered as the front runners on this technology.
Right. They're like the guy that invented the fries or the McNugget.
The gold standard of
That's exactly
wireless
right.
vehicle charging.
That's exactly right, Danny.
Who wants to start on a weekend check? I got a little something.
Go for it.
Okay, then I guess I'm starting.
You offered.
This weekend, Danny Balis. I'm talking to Danny Balis.
Okay.
And doing a little walk, trying to get my steps in. So I'm outside.
Like Richard Simmons would
It's
want you to
8
do.
million degrees out, and I'm walking around talking to Danny.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we were talking about hooking up or when we're going to discuss this or that. And I said, you know what? Maybe don't call me tonight after 7. I said, I'm probably going to be sundowning.
Ew.
So that's become a new term that I've worked into my game because of
Joe Biden.
The Biden-Trump debate, where Biden was just all over the place, and then some people are alleging, you know what, he could be sundowning. That's what happens to people like getting early Alzheimer's or just to olds. Like they're sharper in the morning, but as the day goes on, they kind of lose it, and then as the sun goes down, they are fading.
Yes.
So I said to Danny, I might be sundowning because I kind of had the plans of, how about a nice gummy? You know, sometimes
That's not typically what people mean when they say sundowning. I understand what you're saying.
So I just, in my head, I'm thinking, you know, what am I going to do tonight? Where are we going to eat? What am I going to do afterwards? Maybe I'll pop in a gummy. And I told Danny this. I said, that's why I'm saying sundowning. That's just my funny thing. And he said, you're gum downing. And I am now going to work that into my game.
Okay.
I wanted to credit Danny the first time because eventually, I'm going to say this so often that people are going to think I came up with it.
It's yours.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time that I've ever, in 25 years of knowing Dan, heard him actually laugh at something I said.
I want to refute that and say that I'm in love with Dan McDowell.
That made him laugh?
I don't know.
feel like I've seen him
more
laugh
made me
at that.
cry. Yeah. Tears of joy.
A scoop of
Let's see here.
A teaspoon at night.
a teaspoon at night.
Okay, so then I had some issues going on with the wife this weekend.
Oh no.
So,
Blake, fire
number
up the
one.
list.
I love this.
Number one.
He has a list.
I keep a list of every fight he has with his wife.
Well, number one,
We have a lot of lists. Danny.
this wasn't a real issue, but it was. We were going to do some work on the pool, just do some yard work, some stuff, and it was middle of the day, Saturday, and then I said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to go put on my long sleeve shirt."
Yeah.
because of another recent conversation we've had.
Yep.
About, I guess it was Jake's landscaper that goes out there, long sleeve shirt, long pants, giant hat. Like, he's really covering himself, and he's
Latino.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
He's and you would think, oh my gosh, darker skin, isn't that better for you against the aren't you? No, apparently not. And this guy who's a landscaper, he's a professional. So I'm a weekend warrior landscaper. This guy's out there each and every day thinking the best thing to do, the safest thing, is to go long sleeves. And then we got a lot of email response on that, a lot of feedback that, yes, indeed, in fact, like just wearing short sleeves in the sun, you're going to be cooler wearing a long sleeve shirt. So anyway, that's why I did that. She told me,
Uh-oh.
and I said, the Latino guys doing it. She says,
Here comes the Today Show.
Can I bang a quick 20? I don't feel like you said Latino.
okay. I might have said it could be Mexican guy. Anyway.
That's all I'm saying.
Both are right.
I might need a modicum of support from you today at one point.
I will provide you
anything.
with all the support you want. I'm just trying to keep you honest.
I need some yes ands.
Yes.
And,
Got it.
My wife said, well, maybe that's because they're illegal and they need to keep covered up.
That is.
And I'm like, what do you...
Patently the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Do you think somebody's driving by with facial recognition cameras and like...
First of all, I don't believe she said that. I think you made that up.
Someone's driving by with an iPhone.
They're covering up their gang tattoos.
Yeah, I think that's foolish. But.
And then the actual argument that we got in. So now we're cleaning out the shed, doing the yard work, like I said.
God. The worst.
The worst. Those mud dauber wasps have their little huts all over there.
You said we?
Yeah.
Oh, you get some help doing that.
Yeah, she was actually out there.
Uh-oh.
That sounds good.
Can't wait for your weekend check.
But you won't kill them, though, right?
I don't kill the mud daubers, no.
Yeah.
In fact, I escorted one out of the house this morning. Put it on a little piece of paper and walked him out. Said, hey, going out there.
What a waste of your time.
The shed clean is just...
Why? The ecosystem needs to stay intact.
He's about to die.
If I killed one of them, that could throw everything off, and then all of a sudden we've got famine.
Yep.
And I don't want that on my
famine.
On my conscience.
The shed clean is just... You can't beat that as far as like it's the hottest you'll ever be in your life.
It's so hot in there, man.
Yeah.
And then you're using the blower to and then it's all the stuff's in your face. That's man.
Dust.
I should have gone. Yeah, dust. So I should have gone and found one of those nice masks that I didn't really need for COVID.
Face diaper.
Yeah, I should have put
face diaper.
I have a bunch of those still. I didn't even think about that, and I'm coughing up a storm. Anyway. So she had in the shed, I don't know, you're more of a Marie Kondo guy. We store a lot of things. So like if we have an old coffee pot that kind of doesn't work anymore and we get a new one, she'll save that old coffee pot. Like, I could donate this. And then it'll sit in the garage for 2 years, and then we throw it away. But I need that buffer period with her. Well, we had this argument a couple years ago about the old vacuum cleaner. So she's like, don't throw it away. I want the old vacuum cleaner.
Why?
And I go, why? It's still workable. It's salvageable, blah, 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 blah. So now it's been in the shed. And so now it has a couple of mud dauber things on it, and it's real dusty and everything, and we're cleaning out the shed, and she says, well, let's throw this away. Like it's her idea now. It was my idea 2 years ago when we got a new vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, you can't let that slide.
But she goes, here, throw this in the recycle bin. And I go, now this is where the argument started. I go, you can't just throw a vacuum cleaner in the recycle bin. She's like, it's made of plastic. I go, yeah, but it doesn't work like that. It's got metal things inside it, and like they won't just take that. They're going to end up throwing it away. You're just going to cause more work for them. And we were in this big argument, and I felt I was right. But then as I walked away, I realized that I just argued really hardcore, and I really didn't know. I had no idea. and that she might, in fact, be right, but I kind of got swept up in the moment of arguing, and then it turned into a thing.
It was more about the engagement than the actual product.
Like she just doubted the wise old me when I first brought it up, and then I had to stand my ground.
No, you were right.
Like a Major League umpire.
You can't recycle a vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There are things that on the actual damn dumpster or trash can that tells you what the little symbols of what they all are, and vacuum cleaner is not one of them.
Yeah.
She throws everything in that can.
Many recycling centers take vacuums.
Wow. Recycling centers, but not for your takeaway dumpster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
That's like glass, bottles, cardboard. I mean, it's really limited on what you're supposed to put in those things.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what I've been saying for probably a year now. I think recycling is a fraud.
Yeah, but I feel really good when I do it.
I feel good when I do it too.
I kind of ignore when you tell me that.
And I still do it.
Yeah.
So even though I believe it, I still do it.
And I rinse out everything.
I know. You go.
Cans.
Yeah, you put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to rinse them anyway. I'm helping them out.
So how did this end up?
It ends up with, it's just still sitting outside. We haven't done anything with it yet.
That's a bulky trash thing. Do you guys have that once a month where they come out with the crane and pick up all your crap?
Dude,
I don't know.
Branches.
I would just set it out there.
Yeah, just set it out there. Somebody will take it.
I got to say,
maybe the guy that wears the long sleeve shirts, he'll show up.
He'll figure it out.
That thing.
The South Lake scene is quite different because it's all automated. Like in Grapevine, they still come pick it up, put it in the back, dump it out.
Okay, yeah. We have an automated recycle bin thing.
Yeah.
The big
like
arm comes down, picks it up, and throws it in the back.
Yeah.
Whereas we have actual trash guys who will actually. So if I put it out on trash day, that'll be fine. Because dudes, they haven't taken our jobs with AI trash yet.
Well, you're saying the garbage trucks in South Lake, they all have grabber arms and they dump it into the hopper.
Recycle truck.
The recycle trucks definitely do.
That's the same in Dallas, too.
The garbage
it's
truck
not the same in Grapevine, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where I actually live, I take my son out there twice a week so that he can watch the trash man.
That's probably because
he loves
William D. Tate.
Well, do you put your trash out in front or in the alley? Because the alley, they're going to use
guys.
It out in front,
but
guys
what
that
I'm
are on
saying
the
is
back of
they
the
don't
truck.
have like an arm. They don't have like the thing that South Lake has. Like the truck is equipped with a different thing.
Yeah.
And they pick that thing up and
No, I see what you're saying.
there's like a one-person job there.
Well, they have the ones that
Eliminating-
are on the rear, Jake, where you put the bin up on the rear and it lifts it over like that right into the back of it. And then you have the ones that have the side, those grabber arms that go up the side. That's for like front of house pickup.
What I'm telling you is that in Grapevine, a guy picks the trash
No,
can
I
up
get it.
and throws it into the back of the trash truck.
I'm also saying that not every single truck situation may be like that. It may be specific to the type of neighborhood because you need flexibility. Maybe
That's
some of their
possible.
stuff is alleys.
That's
some
possible.
of it is where you actually need a person to get out and do some of those. So I bet they're not exclusively, because that's a lot of manpower to pay.
Hey, guys, back to your respective corners.
Will Dion lead Colorado to the CFP?
Jesus Christ.
Look at their title.
Anyone else
Bold and Bolder.
want to chime in on their weekend?
I love it.
I still love how Dan thinks that the murder of one mud dauber could create famine. Like you just really jumped about 8 million steps in the butterfly effect to get to there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to doubt him, though.
I like to think ahead.
God forbid you kill 2. We might end up in pestilence.
Our actions have consequences. I just knew that Blake had killed one last week.
I haven't heard pestilence since, Bible school.
Blake killed one last week, so I had to
Yeah.
save one this week to balance it out.
Yeah.
It has wings and a stinger. If I see it, I'm going to kill it. Am I wrong?
I'm not going to stop you.
So, took Brooks to the Rough Riders game yesterday.
Nice.
And thought about those minor league things that you'll take your kid to because they don't know the difference.
Of course. Like we talked about with the Dallas Freeze and the Fort Worth Fire.
Yeah. So, third or fourth Rough Rider game this season. Yesterday was Bluey night.
Oh my
At the Rough Riders game.
How much are tickets?
They can't be more than
I bought
$20.
4, and I think it was $60.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a great deal.
Hold on. 4?
My parents.
Okay.
Who else would it be?
I don't know. So you didn't go with your wife?
No, she works weekends now.
Okay.
So I'm on weekend kid duty.
Are you guys getting along good?
Me and my wife?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we're okay. You want to talk later?
Yeah, I do actually. You don't have any like pre-empty nest activities going on in your home like Dan does? Things to keep you distracted from the fact that you can't stand each other?
I mean,
Like cleaning out the garage and the shed and
That's
arguing over vacuum cleaner recycling?
No, I've resorted to more gum downing.
Okay. Fantastic.
That way you don't go to bed mad, you know?
Yeah.
No, but she started a new job where she works every Saturday, Sunday. So now the kid is my duty every Saturday, Sunday. And so now I'm trying to think of things to do outside of the house so he's not just parked in front of the television.
And it's too damn hot to do anything.
And can't go to the park, can't go to the splash pad, can't play
The
outside.
mall isn't what it used to be.
No.
I used to be a big mall guy with the kid.
It's
Are you sure about that?
Dude, I take Malcolm to Town East Mall at least once or twice
Town
a month.
East?
Yeah.
I guess it depends which
Yeah.
mall. I'm thinking of the Louisville one.
Vista Ridge.
Is it? It's now called like the Music City something, and it's a ghost town, or at least it was a few years ago. Last time I was
It's a
there.
lot of acreage that's air conditioned to let your kid run wild ass.
Yeah.
And I still use it.
See, that's my thing about Grapevine Mills. You know, they have an aquarium, they have Legoland, they have a bunch of other BS that you can walk around through. You can kill 2 hours there, no problem, for very little money.
Get your steps in too.
You can also get your steps in.
Get my 10K in. No, I bring that up because we've talked about this before. But, you know, when I'm all old and stuff and Brooks has grown up and he hates my guts, I'm going to think back to the time when he was 2.5 and we were best buds.
Yeah.
And how I should have cherished that time. And now I'm like, God damn, how slow is this weekend going? How can I just get forward to Monday?
An hour feels like it takes 12 hours.
It's like God,
Every single weekend.
Can you take another nap? I mean,
Yeah.
Can you go play with your friends somewhere? But I'm supposed to enjoy these times and I don't know how.
Yeah. The whole goal is now just to make him tired enough to go to sleep.
Oh my God, yes.
As they say, Blake, the days are long, but the years are short.
I know it. I know it.
It's so true just how much everyone tells you, like, it's going to go by so fast, cherish it. But when it's happening, you just want it to go by.
Yes, I just need this to be done. I need you to go to bed. NCAA comes out in 2 days. We need to prep.
By the way,
Today at 3 o'clock.
I was going to say.
So if we could wrap this up.
I was going to say, Dan, we're losing him today.
You're jumping right on?
No, I have stuff to do. But tonight, I'm thinking I'm going to take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. We're going to play at Amon G. Carter. I think that's the game I'm going to go with first. Anyway.
You pre-bought.
Yeah, I got the deluxe edition.
Yeah.
I got early access.
Yeah.
So we show up to Bluey night, and they have like Bluey stuff to do between innings, but the main attraction was you can get your picture with Bluey.
Yeah.
Which is a guy in a suit from 6 to 8:30.
Like the one that I talked about, or like an actual Bluey?
No, it's just a guy in a suit.
Okay,
I mean,
but we talked about this
better.
news story where people like freaked out about it, right? Like that was like a month ago. It was just a black guy in a Bluey.
I don't know if that was necessary.
Yeah, it was
How did you know?
Well, because they had
Did you like open up his food hole to see who was
that's what I'm
inside
saying.
It was just a very poorly
The photo was-
constructed costume.
Yeah, I mean, it was so obvious that it was just.
They had promoted it at a restaurant, and everybody thought it's going to be like
Just imagine him like.
sponsored by Bluey Incorporated itself,
like-
and have a real,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just imagine
but it
his
was
costume.
like a guy who had put together some
This
stuff.
costume looked like Eddie Murphy as Gumby.
It was
Like his face is
exactly.
cut out.
It was super shitty.
Yeah.
And like the one that I went to, it's called Camp Store in Dallas. Like that was Bluey. So is that what you got, or
It looked like a legit Bluey. And so we walk into the restaurant, and it's got a Bluey backdrop. And see, now you got it in my head. a Bluey backdrop, and it's a big Bluey, and all the kids are standing next to him. You take pictures. I look at the line. It's not that bad. It's like, okay, let's go. The line extended outside and around the park.
With the heat.
In the heat, and from what people were saying, 1.5 long wait.
Oh, my God.
And?
So we watched some baseball because I was not going to wait in that.
That's tough.
People love Bluey, man. And so my one event from the night.
Malky's into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We watch probably 2 to 4 episodes a day.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So sat behind guy that wanted to score the game.
Oh, no.
He wanted everyone to know about it because he brought his little notepad. And
Did you tell him you're really sad that you didn't become the producer of his show?
Like the electronic notepad thingy? Like you got?
Thank you,
No.
Danny.
The remarkable?
no, this guy,
Okay.
pen and
I love
paper.
Well played.
I was
Old?
man, like 40,
Okay.
pretty young.
Interesting.
But really played the part well. Had a Rough Riders Evan Carter jersey. Had a Texas flag Crocs. Played the part perfectly.
Yeah.
And pen and paper, and then at the top left, he writes Naturals versus Rough Riders. Temperature at the start of the game, 98 degrees. Time of first pitch, 6:06. I mean, he was keeping all of it. But he did not keep the pitch count, which I thought if you're going to do it, you need to do it.
If you're going that far.
Because I was watching him. I was like, okay, MFer, you better pay attention to every pitch. And he did. And he was like looking around, talking and stuff. And I realized he wasn't keeping balls and strikes. He was just keeping like the result of the at-bat, which I thought, you're not doing it. You're not doing it the right way.
This confirms what I believe about people that score games, that go to games and sit there with their score pad. They don't want to do it.
It's for show.
It's for show.
They're just trying to get pussy.
That feels like the worst way to try to get pussy of all time.
All right, Danny may be onto something because so a lot of parents at this game. It's Bluey night. A lot of couples. Guy sits down. He's talking to the couple next to him, and it's just bro to bro, and he's cursing quite a bit. So scorekeeper man taps him on the shoulder. Hey, we got kids around. And I thought, I was waiting.
Are we going to throw down?
I was waiting.
How great would that be?
And the second it took him to respond felt like, a minute and a half because I'm just like, okay, what are we going to do here?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
And he stopped. But, man, scorebook man, I would never do that.
He's also local police.
Sure.
Citizen's arrest.
Sure,
Yeah.
he's there for the people.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would ever stop somebody from cursing in front of my kid. I'm not about that at all.
No, I would think you'd have to, if you then want to talk about it later or something, right? You don't.
Or move. I don't move.
Yeah.
Go. I don't know. I'm not going to stand up for the betterment of the crowd, I think.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about my kid cursing in front of other people.
Not in front of other adults.
Have
but-
you have you dealt with that at all?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you curse in front of your child?
No, but he picks things up because his mom really loves hip-hop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, there's
So right now his current favorites, and it's only he knows
Cursing is the least of
the
your
N
worries.
word.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right now his current favorites, and he only will do it when he's number one, really angry and trying to get a reaction, or if he's trying to get some type of attention. But his top two right now are "fuck it" and "come on, bitch."
Dude, I've told these guys about this.
Yeah.
At least they're funny.
I have cursed in front of Nora probably less than 10 times in my life. My wife has done it quite a bit.
It's always the wife. It's always the woman.
So,
Always.
But there was a time pretty early on, it might have been 2 years ago, I think she was 3, where I started saying fuck it in front of her. And there's something about the consternation of it that she just loved. And she would just, use it properly. She would just go, fuck it. Fuck it.
There's nothing cuter, by the way.
And the only way,
You got to be
Blake
proud of her
talked
for
about,
using it properly. Yeah.
I know, but the only way, Blake talked about this a little bit ago with Brooks, the only way that you can eliminate it is to not react.
yeah, ignore it.
Impossible.
But the first few times, I was like, God, that rules.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I still can't stop laughing at it.
No,
It's
no.
every time it's funny.
Brooks has picked up damn it, dude. He'll say that all the time.
Well, I have a feeling with NCAA 25 coming back.
He's going to learn some new words.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How about we move on?
Let's.
So on today's program, we do have, we're going to talk a little Trump. Today in Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, we should probably be doing it right now, but we'll push it ahead till after we take a little break.
Okay.
But we will do sports, and today's sports has actually got a sponsor, Frankel and Frankel. Luckily, my daughter, who got in an accident last week, didn't really need to call Frankel and Frankel right away. She called me. But they say you should put in that phone number like in your phone, just so that, But if you don't, pretty easy to remember, correct?
Yeah, you just need to remember the number 3, Dan.
Yeah. They are personal injury attorneys. They're great. They're chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies, because they know the insurance companies, they're not there to help you. They're all great while you're giving them money, but then once you want money from them, then they're like, I don't know. Well, Frankel and Frankel will fight for you. That's what they do.
That is what they do. They're a family-owned law firm with a client-first mission, so you can look forward to superior service and the outcome, not that you want, but that you deserve, Dan.
Yeah, you don't want inferior service.
No.
You want superior.
Yes.
So thanks to Frankel and Frankel. It's hard to say, hey, mention the dumb zone. Like, we hope you don't get in an accident. But, I mean, I don't hope
if you
that
do,
hard that you don't.
There's going to be a weird moment.
I kind of hope you don't.
Where you call them,
yeah,
which you should, at 214-817-333-3333, and you're going to have to say, a podcast called The Dumb Zone sent me here.
That's right. And they'll be like, all right, we'll
all
take
right.
extra sweet care of you.
I'm a partner.
You want to touch on your article first? Jake is a writer of some note. And apparently on dmagazine.com today, we've got a new article. What are we dealing with today?
So I would reject the idea that it's of some note, but it is something that we talked about over the last couple of days, and it was something that, my editor wanted me to, I guess, expound on. I still can't believe that Mark Cuban is not in charge of the Mavs anymore. It's super weird. The Mavericks have been to the finals 2 of the last 3 years. He hired a GM who apparently has grown into this job pretty well, right? Like, I think you and I were both pretty skeptical of that idea, as we were with Jason Kidd. And that's the guy that he hired, and now he's just gone. And at the beginning, it was that he sold 60%, and then it was 73% of his shares. And now it's that he's not even in charge anymore at all.
Yeah, and at the beginning they said he
was going to retain basketball control.
Yeah, and I remember hearing, I don't know if it was Windhorse or maybe it was, somebody was saying,
shares.
Yes, he had the control share.
Yeah.
Which I was very interested in.
And confused by.
Yeah, but so you could only own 20% of the team or whatever, but you have there's one share that says I get to control everybody, and I always get last say. But apparently not. Just because I would think if he still had control share, he'd still be front and center, like the face of...
But I feel like it started out that way. Like it started out with him saying, I'm selling this part of the team, but I'm still going to be in charge of basketball operations.
Doesn't that also, in retrospect, sound like that was the spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down easier?
That's exactly what I wrote today.
Oh, you did? Cool.
Just in the sense that it's like they wanted to do it in phases.
Mm-hmm. And that's a lot to take in as a lifer Mavs fan, that the guy that you've known is running the organization for 30 years, almost, is just handing it off to these, interlopers from Las Vegas. You attach that to it and get through the phase of, look, we made the finals. We're really, really good and making all these moves. Then you can kind of just slither away and nobody will even notice or care.
That's the way it feels. And the weirdest part to me about it is he's been like the most passionate out front owner outside of Jerry like ever.
No, I thought he was just like Jerry.
And now he's just gone. And it doesn't seem like people are talking about it that much. It just seems like he's just gone. Like, he goes after the officials. He goes after the league. He's on a reality show. He's doing the Dairy Queen bit. He wears the basketball football jersey. I'm never going to be able to let that go. They got cut from the article.
They took it out.
The editor didn't totally understand
Who's
that.
your editor, Tim?
No, but
He's making trades.
yeah, I mean, he's driving around like trying to convince DeAndre Jordan to stay here or, follow through on the deal.
Yeah.
And now he's just gone. It's super, super weird.
Yeah, like he's nowhere.
Not at all.
Like he's not at any press conferences.
But he's not at the Western Conference Finals trophy presentation, like you said.
Yeah, it wasn't even like in the
On
group,
no.
group behind the new owner.
No. He just kind of sits at the baseline.
So he's still got sweet seats.
He does still have
I remember trying to
SWEET seats, but
Yeah. But trying to ascertain why. Remember at the time it was, okay, I don't know, did he take a bath on Bitcoin or crypto and that's why like he needs cash? Which didn't really make a lot of sense just because he seems stoked on crypto and guys that are stoked on crypto seem to
hold.
They don't put everything into it. And yes, then they hold because it always, goes up in the long run. At least we hope. Those of us who have a Bitcoin.
Dan is hoping.
And then I remember the thought was, look at him getting out in front of this. He's getting out in front of the bubble bursting on the NBA TV rights. Those rights are coming up soon, and he knows that it's a bad future for that. He's getting out now, and that way he won't be around as salaries actually go down for the first time. Well, then we've seen that's ridiculous. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I saw the theory. I kind of bought the theory behind it is the ratings just keep going down, down, down. Less and less people watch the finals every year. They're grasping at straws, trying to create an in-season tournament and, create excitement in the league. I could see that TV. They're not going to be in next. The networks aren't. And then everybody's bidding against each other and paying more even to have less because still sports is the thing. It's an innings eater. It's just it gives you programming.
Yeah, and my thought about that was just even if financially it made sense for him to move on. Because I think what he said was basically like that if he sold a specific number of shares, that the real estate and the casino thing is going to make those shares worth more, right? Like the Adelsons are going to build a casino. Mm. So if he now has 27% of the company as opposed to 80% of the company, that 20% will be worth more going forward.
As much as 50% would have been in the past.
Exactly. You can get cash flow positive. But the part that I don't understand is relinquishing control of the team.
Yeah, that made sense because we would think those people know how to help the laws get changed because that's what needs to be done.
Lobby and do what you have to do. Exactly.
And they are already big-time fans of all the people who are our lawmakers now, right?
And they're very adept at this.
Right-leaning, and they've helped change elsewhere. And
they happen to be funding the war in Palestine.
Like,
right
is
now,
there any chance...
That's a separate issue, I suppose.
Is there any chance that they have...
Told him?
He's not getting what he thought he was getting out of this deal?
That crossed my mind.
I don't think that anything is off the table.
And that he's upset about the way he's been moved to the back? I wonder.
Well, I mean, he's got $4 billion now.
Yeah.
So he can be upset about it all he wants, but...
I feel like he reveled in...
being
the face of the Mavs. Like,
and
there's always Dirk or there's Luka, but there's always Cuban,
Yeah. And that's, not to like just completely repurpose the article that I wrote this morning, but I was not a fan of the Mavericks until Mark Cuban bought the team. I was a fan of the Seattle Supersonics because they had a player with my last name who dunked a lot.
Yeah, the man-child.
Yeah. And so
Future Cav. He was a Cavalier then.
Father of many.
Father of many.
Yeah.
Some probably unaware. But, when Cubes bought the team, it was like, oh.
He put him on the map.
For sure. And he kept Nelly. And he was like a different type of owner. And that's probably why I got into, like, analytics.
Dude, he changed the NBA.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like Jerry changed the NFL.
Yeah.
And
now he's just gone.
Yeah, there would be no owner of the Clippers if Cuban didn't blaze that trail.
Has anyone asked him
maniac billionaires?
Point blank, what do you do now?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think he's really been out there in the public.
He gave.
You can text him. We all have his number.
Yeah.
We have to dust him.
Cyber dust him, yeah.
Okay.
I have to dust him.
Were you about to say he did? He has done interviews?
One interview that I could find where he just said, hey, this is a financial decision that I need to make.
I need to make. Okay.
But at that point, he had not relinquished control of the basketball team. This is back in like January.
Like when it was first done?
Yeah. And now it's just done. And the problem, again, is things have been going pretty well. So maybe he just like came to the realization or the conclusion that this game has passed me by.
I don't know. I mean, that seems weird, but
it seems super weird.
I suppose it could be. I know we've all thought, is he ever going to run for president? I don't think he would be doing this now to clear the decks for that.
No,
but who knows?
And see, that's the other thing too. Is like this is something we talked about last week a little bit. His politics actually align like way more with the average NBA player than most billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And they, again, just sold to the biggest conservative donors in the world.
Pretty much the polar opposite of
it could
the
not
average
be
NBA
more of a
player.
left turn.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm not like making a judgment about anybody's politics on that front, but that's pretty weird.
Yeah,
and it happened, and it happened, and everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, Mark Cuban sold the Mavs."
Yeah, if you have a chance to make billions of dollars, I think the politics matters less and less.
Probably so.
These same ultra woke, if you want to call it, NBA players are
education reform. Morris,
they're pretty cool about
Blake.
Selling stuff in China.
Yeah, bubble jerseys.
Well, profit is their politics.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
And that can take many different shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they did all the social stuff on the court or on the jerseys, like it's just like corporate sponsors who are excited about Pride Month or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're doing that because they think that is a profitable move for them in the long run. 100%. They're not doing it because they're stoked on seeing gay rights push forward. They're doing it because I think the population is going in this direction, and we should be.
Yeah, but
let's just pretend we care about gay people for this month.
But at the same time, like I feel like Cuban actually believes a lot of the stuff that he says.
Yeah, but again, money is money.
I get it. Yeah, I just it's a weird situation. It's weird to me that it hasn't been a bigger deal. I don't know if it's because the Cowboys are such a big deal that they just like chomp up so much of our sports media consumption, and now we have to like talk about Malik Hooker and Micah Parsons. But it's really weird that a guy that you cannot write the story of the last quarter century of Dallas sports without mentioning his name first is just gone. And we're like, yeah.
This kind of falls under the it's just business umbrella, where you can be one way, socially minded, civically minded in one direction. And it's like kind of like that, hey, don't take it personally. This is just business. You hear that in business a lot. Don't get your feelings hurt. I had to make this decision. It's just business.
We've heard that.
You can still say all of these things about how progressive, think that Cuban is, and he probably is. But when it comes to, I have an opportunity to make X amount of dollars, this is just business. This has nothing to do with what I believe, but I'm not going to let that stand in the way of me profiting.
And I totally get that. Again, the last thing I'll say is I don't know why it's not a bigger deal.
Obviously, if Jerry sold, it would be the biggest deal.
Yeah,
but
and
he's
I thought about that this morning. Like, maybe that's because there's like a family.
He's woven his family into every aspect of the Cowboys. So that would be a lot different. Cuban is only
one man. Yeah.
Yeah, only one man, and
maybe he just flat out doesn't want to do it anymore.
That's
maybe
really the only thing that I can come up with.
I mean, he's what, 62, 3,
something,
4, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem odd though. You got the next LeBron.
Yeah.
And I want to step away. Like, I could see if they were kind of
floundering.
Yeah, like if they were Atlanta
like
or
5
somebody
years ago.
or most other teams, like don't really know your path to the top. But
I mean,
no, it's
we're 3 years removed from him talking about like the kid hire, like it was something that was like he had this big architect plan for it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And now he's just like, well, I'm out.
All right, go check that out on dmagazine.com.
Thank you for the promo.
The highly unnecessarily edited D Magazine article by Jake Kemp.
That's right.
I
need that thing about the Cuban jersey.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I just think the jersey's funny.
It is.
It's a basketball jersey on a football jersey.
Uh-huh. The reference was lost on your editor. Red line.
What do we got on the River Seine?
That is what we're here to talk about.
Okay.
That's been the story we've followed. The Olympics opening ceremony is Friday, and it will be on the River Seine.
Seine, okay.
I believe it's Seine.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look, it's Kevin Pelton.
Jesus Christ, turn off the TV. So we've been talking about the fact that the River Seine is a nasty place, very polluted, yet they are going to use it for some Olympic events. And they're having the opening ceremonies on the river with apparently, they say, no plan B. So I don't know what that exactly means. I guess they just don't have a ceremony. I
thought it meant they're not handing out pills.
Yeah, well, maybe that is it.
Beginning of the
I like that.
opening
maybe
ceremony.
that is it. Mm-hmm.
Which would make more
My
sense.
joke is not as good, but I was just going to say having no plan B, in my experience, not great.
Yeah,
in both experiences. Both ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, the president of France, Macron, and the mayor of Paris had both said they were going to take a swim to prove that this river is not toxic because it's literally filled. I mean, it's a wastewater dump off. If the rain gets too high, they will divert the sewage system to dump into the river.
Most recent tests show that it is 3.5% diarrhea.
Yeah. Little chunks are in the. It's gross. It's a gross river.
Chunks.
So.
Chunks.
So what they did is they spent $1.5 billion.
Whoa.
To create like a larger, like if there is the rainfall that would. Anyway, they can. It's kind of like they just built a new big tank or something, and that's where the sewage will now go.
I heard they were just going to plug in a giant pool cleaner to clean up the river.
Yeah, one of the Polaris.
Yeah, they just got
a big Polaris.
Giant Polaris.
Is that that thing that floats around and scares the shit out of kids?
Yeah, it's going back and forth along the bottom of the.
Damn, it's stuck.
The river. Anyway, the mayor keeps pushing back her date. She has not swam yet.
Oh, no.
She keeps giving a date. That's her problem. The French sports minister, though, did take a swim over the weekend. and did not disintegrate.
Okay.
So apparently the French sports, they're trying to, like, they have to have some public official swim in it to say, yeah, it is safe, because everybody's like, I don't think that'll be safe. And they're like, yeah, it will be. Well, we'll swim in it. When?
They just found, like, the lowest person that could take one for the team.
Yes, the sports minister. What the hell is
that? Doesn't feel like a high level of official, Dan.
Swimming in the Seine, if you just want to know how dirty it is, it's been banned since 1923.
Do you know how bad things have to be for 100 years ago for people to be like not safe?
Right, because they were doing anything back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Walking the tightrope
we
across
literally
Niagara
had the
Falls.
goddamn plague.
They were telling people, all right, if your baby is getting out of control, shake it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just seriously.
But don't get in that river.
Yeah.
Are you pregnant? Yeah, you can keep smoking.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I mean, what? They didn't have like little, microbial testing probably back then.
No, I think they just looked at
This
it.
was based on the eye test.
They just looked at it and smelled it. And were
Yeah.
like, not so good. And now today they're like, what if we put the mayor in there?
Okay, so you say it was like the lowest possible public official to jump in, the sports minister?
Seems pretty low, yeah.
She was accompanied by the Paralympic flag bearer for France.
Oh, no. They put a crippled in there?
Well, I don't know that that's the way we term it, but...
Crippled.
Is that out of bounds now?
Let's see here. Now,
It is?
part of the...
Okay, disabled person? They put a disabled
How
person...
about you just let the things roll, and who cares if it's out of bounds? It's fine.
She was looking at me.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
she's
they-
looking at you. Well, then you should probably change the whole show.
So they put a disabled person...
I didn't realize somebody was looking at us.
They put a disabled person in a shit-filled river, is
Right.
what you're telling me.
Well,
Yeah.
so they have tried to clean it up. Okay, they built this other little
$1.5 billion.
thing on, but there is a group of protesters that have been standing by. They're waiting for the day the mayor keeps saying she's going to swim in the river, and they're trying to get a protest together to where all these people. So she's going to swim in the river. Let's say by the Eiffel Tower. They're going to go upstream, time it out. And they're trying to get thousands of people to drop their pants and drop a deuce in the river so that it will all be floating by at the same time of the mayor's swim.
It hits her at once. They've timed it all, and they're like an app. I think they created like some type of app where you can.
Okay, you seen
at
this?
a specific time.
Yeah,
I feel like John Oliver did something on this.
So-
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, they're waiting.
Like, are they not convinced that the shit is
Turd floats at 2.1 miles an
Right,
hour.
right.
And from 400
It weighs an
kilometers,
average of
right.
Yeah,
They figured out all the science on when it will actually hit her in the head.
But I feel like that's dishonest though, because
She's just
aren't
ducking them all.
they already
Knocks out her
saying that
cigarette.
like we feel like there's too much shit in here?
Yeah,
So why do we need to put more poop?
because that's fun.
I
I
guess
think
it's
aren't they
fun.
Olympics protesters? Did you already say
Yeah,
that?
they're protesting
You
the
said that.
fact that they spent 1.5 billion on that, and not like.
Okay, so they want to undo it.
Do you think we have no homeless people now? Well, you're going to think they have no homeless people because we've swept them all away
Right.
for the
the
whole
Olympics
thing.
sucks.
It's terrible. Like what it does to cities and what cities do to suck off the Olympics to get it at their host location, and the way they position their city is just these, it's so beautiful and pristine and clean, and then when the Olympics go away, it's back to even worse than it was before.
Yeah. And your taxes have to pay for it. It's not a great thing.
I mean, the sports side of it's cool. It's just what it does
is it?
to the infrastructure. I mean, yeah, I guess it depends.
I like watching some of it,
Mm-hmm.
but is it worth like a rapacious siege on a city?
Probably not. I mean, obviously it is for profit. Yeah, it's got.
I don't think it is for profit.
Isn't it though?
I don't think I don't think the Olympics are like a loss leader at all. I think that countries generally lose a lot of money by having the Olympics. Am I crazy about this?
I mean, certainly there's some.
I think it's like a national pride thing, but I don't think that it actually makes countries money.
It sure gives me pride when I see one of our guys like shave a world record from 4.23 seconds to 4.22. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You stand up and cry and put your hand over your heart.
I do like seeing the basketball team kick the crap out of everyone. That's kind of fun.
I do know you like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to see LeBron get another championship. I mean, that's really what this is all about.
Joel Embiid.
Although, you know what? They did mess up not with no Caitlin Clark. Because do you know how much I care about the NBA now, or the WNBA? Like, kind of.
Yeah.
That's how much. Kind of. But I am really amused by, like, did you see clips over the weekend of who's Caitlin Clark's nemesis?
Angel Reese.
Okay. Like, apparently she had, like, the WNBA record for double-doubles in a row.
With 4.
It's like 15.
4.
I think saying 15, to me, has the same effect. Like, that does really? Like, I would think.
However,
look up the NBA's record.
Okay.
It feels like it should be a lot longer.
They play fewer minutes. However, I'm going to tell you, the numbers were almost all 10 and 10.
Oh, yeah. So the other night, they had, I don't know, their team was playing another team. I don't know any of the teams.
Yeah.
But apparently she had 9 points, and there's like a minute left. They're losing by 20, and they are just feeding her. And it's really funny. There's 4 girls covering her, and everyone else is wide open, and she wouldn't pass it.
Love that.
And she just keeps getting blocked and rejected and firing out like is awesome.
Just they did all this to prevent her double-double.
Right, to prevent the double-double streak from continuing. God. I think she had already tied the record, maybe. I don't know. I know she was going for the record. I don't really care, but I'm amused by... And certainly no one's going to care about her either if she wasn't Caitlin Clark's nemesis.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Well, I mean...
I would watch a little basketball in the Olympics of the ladies if indeed Caitlin Clark was on the team, but she's not.
I think I would be interested to watch it if they had to play together.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the biggest thing is, and we've talked about this a little bit, is just it's turned into a culture war. Like, I don't care about Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese.
No.
I don't care about...
I like that Caitlin Clark is jacking up logo threes. That's fun.
Yeah, no, it's a fun style of basketball, and I like that Angel Reese is an aggressive player or whatever, but the fact that it's turned into this, like, can we fight about black and white people? I don't know, man.
Well, that's just a fun part of our culture altogether.
I guess it is.
It's the fun part, Jake.
Yeah.
It just, you know. And the weird thing is, I don't think either one of them want anything to do with it.
Yeah, Angel seems to enjoy it.
Angel might want a little bit to do with it.
She's not getting a shoe deal without that.
But it doesn't seem to me like Caitlin Clark wants anything to do with, like, being a proxy for race war. But I could be wrong about that. I don't know.
I want to be a proxy for race war. How can I do that?
I would say if you said the N-word right now,
that would make me a proxy?
You could probably get there.
I appreciate the advice, and I'll think about that a little bit.
I'm just telling you.
He said he's going to consider it. I mean,
maybe in the news.
What more do you want?
Let's do this real quick. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Viewer mail, then we'll take a little break.
Okay.
Then we'll do pre-news, then we'll do news. Then we'll do closing middle remarks. Something.
Whoa.
Let's see. I got a bunch of birthdays. Oh, actually, Mark Brasher says he reached the Wilford Brimley cocoon line. Are you familiar with this?
I'm familiar with the Twitter account. I don't know the age off the top of my head. Danny, do you?
I think it's 53, 52, something like that.
It's insane.
So it's the bit is that he says, I'm the same age today as Wilford Brimley was on the day Cocoon was released in theaters, which is 50 years, 9 months, and 6 days. And apparently, if you take a look at Wilford Brimley...
He looks 90.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think, this has been a bit we've been on for a long time that people looked older back then. Mm-hmm. And, yes, so Mark wanted to note that he's been following his days and counted it down to that. His leaders are Blake's salary negotiation skills, Mrs. Dan's ladies' nights, and TC's masturbation-induced back spasms from day one, number 211. 211, Mark Brasher.
Danny, TC seized up while yerking it.
And he admitted to this when and where?
He told me about it on a companion podcast that I do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He had a back spasm.
Like this was recently.
And now there's
Yep.
Now there's an older woman here.
Jake.
Not older.
Older than you.
Very attractive, but the second we started talking about jacking off, another woman walked in here. And
Yeah. Hey, don't change what you do because someone's looking at you.
Okay.
Right, Dan?
I won't.
Tell him, Dan.
But what do you think that is? Do you think it's like just nutrition? Less smoking?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, in Hollywood, you're all Botoxed up, and you've got ways to make you keep looking younger, I suppose.
But I think the average person looks better now.
Yeah.
We're probably not out in the sun as much.
That's a big one. I don't think Wilford Brimley at that time was doing a lot to help himself either.
Yeah.
I don't think he really cared.
Yeah, smoking, nutrition,
Mustache,
exercise, whatever.
Weird glasses,
Mustache?
bald.
Why would that be?
Drinking.
Why would mustache be? Okay, sorry.
Dan, I completely dropped the ball last week. Friday was Sarah's 15th birthday. She and her mom, Laura, loved you and Jake on the ticket. They now listen to the Dumb Zone faithfully. Sarah in Sausalito. Maybe you remember back in the day, David and East Dallas here used to always send in her birthday. Her and her mom listened to us from California. So,
You ever been to Sausalito?
Sarah in Sausalito. I don't even know where it is. Is it by San Francisco?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like the most amazing place in America.
Whoa.
It's like the Highland Park of the world.
Okay. Well, then we want to remain
I
friends
suppose
with
I
Sarah in Sausalito.
Can't argue with that.
And her mom. Uncle Hotmail. Sunday, my good friend and fellow DFer John Mooring's Alfred Morris birthday. Alfred.
30.
His leaders are Danny,
Thank
the
you,
autism
Dan.
comic, and the last 10%. More Julie from Preston Blevins, number 2246.
Do you have any more jokes about my daughter being on the spectrum?
Nope. No, not today. Got a couple, workshopping a couple, but
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to know.
No, you're
if
good.
There was anything else you
No,
wanted to
we're fine, Jake.
Okay.
It is funny. I mean, I got to give you that. I got to give you that. It's
Nobody loves autism comedy more than Dan.
It's hard to not joke about it. Uncle Hotmail, I'm Jeff Moss.
Hi, Jeff.
Pronounced
Hey,
Jeff
Jeff.
Moss. His name is spelled Geo, and he wrote J. Anyway.
Okay. Yep.
It is my Kareem Abdul-Jabbar birthday. I hope alongside a birthday shout-out, you will call out my brother to host a 960 remote. They are currently in Africa.
Whoa.
They're building a 10,000 square foot mansion and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's saying...
I thought he was in Africa, maybe doing some missionary work.
Well, no. He's shooting lions, hippos, crocodiles, leopards, etc.
Yeah.
But he's saying that when he's building a huge mansion here, and they could easily fit us in.
Okay.
So that's the bit. My leaders are the young grandpa's new wife who loves porn. Is that the guy who's driving us?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah, you want to fire it up?
It's Matt.
Matt is going to join us on Wednesday to talk about our trip to California. Jake's Weed Vape and Blake's MBR. Let's see. He says that's it. Jeff, it's his birthday, right? Jeff Moss. And then I got a couple of Jake related emails. I can't read.
It's okay.
One says, hey, Dan, Jake's pitching coach is pitching to Bobby Witt Jr. in the home run derby tonight.
Whoa.
It is true.
Seems like he's trying to bury the lead here.
You're still doing that?
From Taylor.
Shut up.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am. But, I mean, we've had like a bit of an uneven schedule. So like obviously we're doing a show on Wednesday, so I won't be able to go on Wednesday. But they are friends.
He's already putting the plane in.
Oh, he's already backing out.
That ain't inconsistent.
I didn't get to.
Okay, what is the end?
Okay,
what is
then-
the goal?
then
What is the end
I
goal
won't do
for
the show
you
on Wednesday.
Doing pitching lessons. What is the end result? What's your goal?
I just wanted to learn how to throw a baseball.
You gave up piano lessons. That is actually useful. That you could learn and it would serve you the rest of your life. But you want to learn to throw a baseball, and that's somehow going to.
I want to learn how to do both of them. I want to learn how to do all of this.
And we've already talked about it. Next, we're going to teach him how to run to first.
Which way do I go?
Next, let's learn how to shoot a free throw.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I think Bobby is throwing that. Not Bobby, James. James Russell is throwing to Bobby at the home run derby. Yeah.
This one will end with Jake talk. He says, I'm typing, laughing my ass off that Aggie hater Jake got pulled over. And then he goes on to tell me this was regarding my daughter was in an accident last Thursday evening. She was run into, and it was pretty obvious, cut and dried. It was an old lady, and the cop knew, she created the other lady 2 violations, so definitely their insurance and all that kind of stuff.
214 all threes.
Or 817.
He said his idea is get a basic dash cam, $50 on Amazon. It saved us thousands of dollars twice.
I've thought about this, actually.
He's got a couple of stories where his kids were actually hit, and there was some ambiguity about whether or not whose fault it was, and it was clearly the dash cam saved him.
Yeah. Yeah. I put a dash cam on about a year ago.
Do you have it facing out or at you?
Why would it be facing at him?
At your pants.
Yeah.
I tune into that, dude.
Just to find out the exact second where you got back
Twitch.tv
while you were driving.
Blake pant cam.
Blake's junk.
Yeah.
Blake's hog. So I've heard.
Having a nice tollway wank.
Blake looks like he's
way to
got a
work.
hog, doesn't he?
have to talk about that.
I'm just saying, you look at Blake and
I
you're
point-
like,
absolutely
I point
not
my
going to
dash
yes
cam
and that.
out.
I'm
to
seeing hog
see
there.
If I get in an accident,
I'm looking
it's
at
not
Danny.
my
I'm seeing
fault.
long and skinny. I think your
What do I
body
got?
type generally.
What do I got?
I think Blake's either it's
Hairy.
I think it's either feast or famine with Blake.
Hairy, spiked.
I think Blake
It's
is either
mean.
you can't see it or it's like halfway
Why?
down his leg. That's what I'm feeling. Or thinking, not feeling it.
But it's strong. You could hang up a
What about you, Dan? What kind of luggage are you toting around?
little chewed up piece of gum that you stick to the. You stick under the desk.
Little big red McDowell over there.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, this is from Kurt, who says, "Gig him and tell Jake to unblock me on X."
Got it. Give me the handle.
And I told him, email me the handle, and Jake shall do that.
I will do that.
Because that's what we're doing now.
If you're a listener, unblocked.
Yeah, if you want to be unblocked by Jake, he is accepting that, and we will do a little ceremony right here on the air.
Seance. Yeah.
If you're in radio middle management, you're still blocked.
And hello, my leader. I have a question for Jake. First, congratulations on
I'm sorry,
500
what?
plus.
You heard me.
My question is, out of all the Kemp spins, which one is his favorite? Then he goes on to tell his personal favorite.
Which is?
Okay.
But do you want me to tell you that, or want to just get Jake's unsolicited?
We'll give him a second to think. But yeah, I'm interested in this, guys.
He says, my personal favorite is the Craig Sager one.
Yeah.
That's
I
a good
feel
one.
bad for his son who was filling in for his dad while he was on his deathbed, and every time he interviewed someone, they kept telling him how great of a person his dad was. Then he says, more Danny intros from Z. Sharaf.
Sorry, I didn't play the Danny intro.
Do you have your favorite Kemp spin?
Yeah, I'll give you two of them. I mean, Craig Sager's definitely up there. It's very hard for me to overcome wide stance. And I know that that's one that you bring up a lot, but Larry Craig being in the Minneapolis airport, like putting his foot under the stall, trying to hook up with a dude, that's really, really good.
A lawmaker who was
he was-
anti-gay rights and stuff.
Of course, yeah, he was a conservative.
Yeah.
And then
That's a chef's kiss.
Then the other, yeah, for sure. Then the other one, because of our personal connection to it, is Susie Favor Hamilton. So the fact that Norm had
the Olympian who became a prostitute.
Yes, and Bob grew up kind of worshiping her because I think she was from Madison, and she was like America's sweetheart. And then Norm had her on after she had already become an escort and asked her some questions that I don't think you should ask a woman, regardless of their history.
Did he know at the time that she had pivoted?
She wrote a book about it.
Oh, okay.
So
you were a prostitute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
it was great.
Yeah. So
we broke it down. I think
she got
segment bit.
addicted to sex, and
As
then
one will.
Blake.
and then he had her on, and he was like, "How many at once?" And it was
She'd be like,
Just
well,
real
4 or
sincere.
5 guys are in there.
and honestly,
How many-
she was super upfront and honest about it.
How many cocks in the room was it for?
It wasn't that far off from what you're saying.
7? 7, wasn't
And then
it?
Donovan was like, what was the toughest race you ever ran? Like when I found
Like,
the
Donovan,
audio,
what are you doing?
I hit up Donovan and I'm like, dude, what were you doing? And he's like, I'm super sorry about this. So that would probably have to be my top 2. And she was also incredibly attractive. So, yeah. That's my top 2.
All right.
I saw you do a joke about Donald Trump getting shot.
All right. Of all the presidents, I think it's fair to say Donald Trump would be the funniest one to see get shot. Just because he'd be in the middle of a speech talking shit. Just, you're gay. The shooter would be coming at him and be like, sit down, get down. What a loser, get down, sit down. The noise he would make when he got hit. Even if you love Donald Trump, it would be funny. As soon as he got hit, he'd be like, ah!
Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir.
The rest of the joke, which is my favorite part that didn't really, a lot of people didn't like it, was I think Biden's the first president you could punch assassinate.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
Wasn't that like a formula?
If there was
husband who's
A little bit overweight. Yeah.
Wife is too hot for him.
If there was a list of top 10 shows that kind of was based on the Moonshiners, I think King of Queens would be one.
The Moonshiners?
Moon,
Do you mean the...
Moon, Honeymooners, Moonshiners.
That's fun to watch.
Is it the Honeymooners?
No puppet.
It's the Honeymooners.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
fun?
It was fun.
So now I'm distracted by the TV. I told Jake to take a look at it. So we're watching ESPN now.
Yeah.
We're at Mortgage Mark's place, by the way.
I could live here.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
And you're not even homeless.
It's... No, I'm not.
We've wanted Mark and Caroline to adopt us for quite some time now, ever since we met them.
Yeah.
So it's Windhorst on ESPN. The reason I wanted to point this out is, we're trying hard. We're failing, but we're trying hard. We're trying to get good equipment and microphones and headsets, and we're just trying to make this thing look professional. This is ESPN. Mm-hmm. The multi-billion-dollar corporate, and Windhorst is like their guy, and he's on camera with AirPods or earbuds and the wire, and he's just sitting there talking to his why? If you're Brian Windhorst, Mortgage Mark has a beautiful video podcast studio set up. If you're Windhorst, buy that camera.
Yeah.
You got a seat back there. Now you just sit there. You have actual. I don't know. This looks so cheap.
Yeah, you can actually see in this case it's a shot of Kevin Pelton.
This is April 2020,
and I can see his hotel microwave.
Yeah.
which is embarrassing.
And his built-in MacBook cam,
Yeah,
like facing angled up so you can see his extra chin.
And from the shot of Windhorst, I can see his ceiling fan, which is highly distracting. I thought you were going to say he's lost a little weight.
He doesn't look bad. He doesn't look bad.
Because for a long time, I had a tremendous amount of respect for him for being so famous and so fucking fat.
Yes, because anybody else in that position on TV every day would.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I have to lose weight.
Yeah.
Like that's the public pressure that's on me.
Right.
And for a long time, he was like, what if I just got bigger?
Yeah, that's probably easier. More fun.
I would say it's certainly a lot easier, but right now he actually looks a little bit thinner, and I don't love it. And I can see a ceiling fan. So
next on the run sheet, we have a run sheet. We don't just totally wing it.
No.
It just seems that way, man. These guys are just off the cuff,
man.
Ooh, you know what? We never did mention moment of silence for Monty Kiffin. He died last week. Did you guys see that?
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I did see that.
Former
That was
Cowboy defensive coordinator.
What, for 1 year?
Yes.
It was a weird time,
This is
as I
a
recall.
very weird time.
But
They're
yes.
like, what if we wanted to also hire your son?
Did they?
Was Lane not like a brief consultant or something?
But I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I guess he was just like associated with Rod Marinelli.
Yeah, Monty Kiffin was.
Yeah. So it was
like he was his mentor. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
So randomly, Monty Kiffin was associated with the Cowboys. Dude, that was we had like a 5-year run that was so weird. Rob Ryan?
Yeah.
That was great.
I guess it was great.
Today in Trump.
Yeah.
Is what we get to now.
Yeah.
And I feel like my headline from this, the Trump shooting over the weekend, is kind of like what we've done today is indicative. I mean, just the fact that
We're mirroring the national conversation, right? Like we didn't lead with it.
it feels like it happened, and then it's like, oh yeah, that was a story the other day.
Yeah.
But well, what about the River Sen and Caitlin Clark? Like you've just kind of moved on real quick.
Mark
I feel
Cuban.
like growing up, that would have been the biggest story, and everybody would always be talking about it. And I swear to God, I'm not positive my wife knows to this second that it happened.
I told my mom about it. I was telling you this morning. I told my mom about it last night, and it happened on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm serious though. My wife, unless she has watched the recording of the Today Show news,
From
because
Sunday.
she will just sit there. She's on Dexter right now. I think she started Dexter Friday. She's on like season 3 now.
First time?
She's never done Dexter yet.
Oh.
No. And she's like, why'd you tell me this was good? It's so great. She's watching Dexter morning, noon, and night.
I envy her.
But that's the way we watch TV too, is we don't scroll. We don't fire up the news. Like we just watch what we plan to watch.
Sure.
And, there's no real sporting events on. I didn't watch any All-Star stuff yet. Did you guys?
I watched Dude Perfect ground out.
Did you watch Dude Perfect play a little softball, celebrity softball or whatever they're doing?
When?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it was sent to us a lot. And
Yeah.
Kobe, Cody, Coley.
They're the future. In fact,
He
if
grounded
you want to
out.
make this a politics segment.
And here's the thing. He grounded out to Kane Brown, who was once hired to play the halftime show by Charlotte Jones.
Kane Brown's on the list.
Kemp Spin?
Yeah.
He once got lost on his own property.
He did. Started tweeting about it.
And that's weird.
I would think so. Yeah, you get lost on your own property and need help.
I worked with a guy that, might have
Well, yeah,
happened to
that was weird
time or
because that was like a quarter acre. But
I think Kane Brown was on probably 100, but yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. What was your in fact, so Blake texted us Saturday. And if I am to look at my Jake and Blake text thread.
Which is a rarity. I don't text you guys very often.
Well, I mean,
You don't have to
it's
scroll
often
very far.
very show related. Blake texted us, and it says, "Could you imagine if they killed him?" This was Saturday at 5:46.
That is honestly how I found out about this.
Well, I thought, is he talking about? We had been on a text thread earlier that week, and it was about, like, you were texting about some guy who had a snake at his house or something, and I was like, are we going back to the snake talk? And then Jake said, I can imagine it. They can't imagine it. And I thought, you know what? Now I don't think I should jump in. I was going to jump in and go, what is this referring to? Is it the snake? And then, so a couple hours go by, and I wasn't really locked into Twitter. I guess that was probably around Saturday dinner time. So now we're having dinner, and we're watching a previously, a show that has not been released in a decade or something. That's the way we watch our TV. So now I didn't know until that night, kind of when I'm going to fire up my phone. Let's take a look at Twitter. And I'm like, oh, Blake was texting that Trump was shot. And then, of course, following it all on Twitter is an interesting ride as well in today's day and age. To, speculation, who was it, this and that.
I wanted to ask you guys that when we came in today. Does it feel like this should be a bigger deal than it is? And if it's not a bigger deal than it is, why? Is it because of who he is, or because he was just grazed?
I think part of it is like just the media culture that we're in. Everything moves so fast, and you just kind of like move on from things where, like, I don't know that I would be very interested to see what history books are going to look like in 2050. Because previously, there was like one thing that happened per year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, well, in this year, this is what happened.
Yeah,
or maybe
they still boil it down to, because things just get lost over time.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think if he had, like, taken a bullet and lived and had to get surgery and big emergency situation, I think it would be a much bigger deal than getting grazed in the ear. But
the crazy part about that is
an inch
away from that becoming like the biggest story in the last 100 years of American history.
But since I'm just trying to see if that's hyperbole.
A little bit, maybe.
Kennedy was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, right now, though, like a guy who's running for president a second time after he's already been president, and everything feels like this.
Now we'd be arguing over
tinderbox, tempestuous situation.
It would be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm following it online, and now I'm like, oh, okay. Somebody's saying, oh no, it doesn't. It was glass.
Yeah, they shot the teleprompter,
and it was glass that hit him and cut him, and then it's
okay. So
will we ever know?
I will tell you this. As I showed my mom this, and I told you this morning, she immediately was like, "This is fake."
Now, is she pro-Trump or anti?
I would say she's pro-conservative, anti-Trump.
Okay, and there's a lot of people like that will still vote for Trump, though.
I don't think she would vote for Trump, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think she is a religious person who shares a lot of the values of the Republican Party, who also hates him.
Yeah, okay.
But I showed it to her last night, and she's like, "That's not real."
I mean,
second I showed it to her, I'm like, "Mom, what are you saying?"
That was the initial conjecture that was all over the social media sites pretty much immediately after it happened. And I maybe tell the family of the fireman that died that it wasn't real, that it was fake.
Or the two other people who got wounded?
Like, seriously wounded.
Or, yeah, if this was put on by Trump, hey, shoot my ear, that's a pretty big risk to take.
Shoot my ear. Jesus.
Can you be the greatest marksman of all time, despite the fact that we've now heard reports that he was kicked out of his rifle club in high school because he was such a terrible marksman?
The 20-year-old?
Yeah. I don't know. I just think people's brains are just so cooked.
Yeah. And it's, obviously there are people that would be yelling that like a whole school shooting was all faked somehow. Mm-hmm. And there was actors and like, let me just say, it's the greatest live production ever if that was somehow faked, because it looks like a Hollywood production. Like is that real? Like, did he really then just pump his fist and the flag is behind him? And it's like this is a campaign photo for sure. I mean, the first thing you must have thought is, well, there is the next president. There's just no way around that unless Biden somehow skydives without a parachute and I don't know what
tackles Bodie.
Like, it's kind of like if Biden can walk up the stairs without tripping, then we're going to be like, yes, there's his thing.
He didn't fall off a bike.
Yeah. He rode 10 whole feet.
I don't know what else to say about it other than, I mean, obviously I can't stand the guy. I can't stand his politics. But that was like the most baller thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was like badass. Have you seen some of the memes?
Fight. As he just gets clipped.
Well, then you see like guys who used to be Secret Service guys or people like, no way. If it was real, you don't let him expose his body then after that. And there could be another shooter. How do you know there's not another, blah, blah, blah.
He's a big dude. I mean, that was the problem with like the female Secret Service, right? She only came up to like his nipple. How are you going to protect him if you're that short?
Beautiful nipple.
It was badass though.
Part of the conspiracy theories is also that they had secured like a number of rooftops around there,
right?
Except for that one.
Well, and did you see the video where people saw him crawling on there?
Yes,
you could see him.
There's that guy. And he's like pointing.
They're like, hey, there's a guy with a rifle right there.
Yeah. So
and it was clearly not a uniformed guy.
Right.
Like, how did that happen?
What I understand is the perimeter that he fell outside of the Secret Service perimeter, and anything beyond that was supposed to be local police.
Yeah.
And they are the ones. And, of course, you're going to get a lot of pass the buck and not my fault after something like this.
I'm also I'm not taking shots at local police, but those people are not the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not used to this.
They're not trained in that way.
Right.
They're going to have some gaps in their coverage, but at the same time, it was a pretty small area.
And I'll say the Secret Service isn't perfect.
No.
We forget that, wasn't Gerald Ford shot twice? Is that
true? I don't know.
I think there was an attempt on Gerald Ford's life 2 times.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would think about that is
Reagan was shot.
It is a bygone era. Like despite the fact that there are more school shootings and everything. Yeah. It's just because you think they've kind of eliminated the possibility that you could get a rifle into somewhere.
Yeah, and I think also those people, like their tactical presence is highly, highly increased from what it was 30, 40 years ago. I mean, on one hand, you have like tracking your phone, tracking the internet, all that sort of stuff. But I also just think, the Secret Service used to smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
Now they're like trained killers. So I don't think this is like, because I've seen a lot of like talk about that of like, is this going to become like a common thing? I don't think it will.
I don't think so either. But I do think the story is that it's not the big story that we think it should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you didn't wake up thinking about it. Like, oh, I can't believe, It's just kind of like, and it's probably part of it is who he is because something different is happening with him every 5 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like now it's
Flood
like,
the zone, right?
Okay, it's this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's this thing. Oh, he got shot. It's like,
even
though it's a much bigger thing, there's always something, and it's just weird. Yes, like you said too. If he had a bullet embedded in him that they had to get out, but you haven't really heard much follow-up on it either.
I mean, all of the other than the cool fist in the air picture, all the other still photographs, it's kind of, you equate it to like when Fabio got hit by a bird on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of
like
reacting the same way.
Amount of blood. It's like, oh, okay. I think the Fabio thing had more lifespan.
More legs.
Yeah, like you were talking about that for weeks.
Do you have any interest in the story of the guy, the shooter? I mean, if there's going to can obviously peel back all the layers of who he was and how he got to be who he is. And even those things, as far as politicizing this, which is those gears started spinning immediately.
Yeah.
There's a confliction in that he was a registered Republican, but he also donated $15 to a Democratic progressive organization, I guess.
Yeah, like Activate Blue or something like that. Yeah.
So you don't really know where he falls, and what will end up happening, I think the truth will be that this was just a very troubled person seeking attention. This wasn't about any real... But
all of these shootings.
He wasn't some real political operative.
Most of the shootings are
Most of them. Most all of them.
Yeah, but, had this been a Hispanic guy, an illegal or whatever, that would be blown to giant proportions.
And I think
or a proven hardcore left-leaning, left-wing type person that was on an operative mission to take out. This is the only way we can keep this guy out of office. They're thinking that was what his line of thinking was. But now it's like, well, there's a kind of dichotomy within his identity and what he actually stood for, and he was probably just crazy.
Like the guy that went to baseball practice, Dan.
Yeah. What about the thought that it could be an inside job somehow within our government?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said,
who would even think that you know what? I think I'll go to a rally and I'll be able to find an open building that I can climb up on. Like, I don't know.
Especially
if it's an inside operative, you're going to hire a 20-year-old with zero military experience.
I would not
using
think so.
That doesn't seem like a great idea.
Using a rifle that's probably at that distance.
That is not an accurate rifle.
It's not designed for that type of accuracy.
That is a close-range rifle.
I'm shocked if that was in fact the bullet that clipped the Don's ear.
Pretty accurate, honestly.
Yeah,
and
that's a 308 job.
You see the diagrams. If Trump had not looked right the second before, it hits him in the head, and he's dead.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all of the scientific post event trajectory analysis and all of that. That's going to be interesting. Like, where was the sniper that got him? The Secret Service sniper. Where was he positioned? I'm curious to know all about that.
Yeah.
What's that?
There's an alternate angle. You can see the sniper behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he, like, right before Trump gets shot, he's like, "We got to take this shot." I mean, it's a crazy timeline.
Like 3 seconds, which I heard everybody getting on this guy about it. But I mean, in reality, you have to be positive what you're doing before you fire that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I understand that it's
you might need approval too.
You might need approval. You might need someone in your ear to tell you squeeze it. But it took about 3 seconds, and in those 3 seconds, the funniest thing that's ever happened in my life happened, and then a guy got his head popped.
God, Twitter's such a bad place after stuff like this.
Oh my gosh.
Bad?
I
think it's the best.
Well,
for comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but just the first tweet I read after the shooting was they've identified the shooter. He's Tim Hardaway Jr.
Just a little bit off in the finals. 0 for 10.
Just right there. What a different world we live in. A former president, there was an assassination attempt, and we were somehow able to
make it about the finals.
But also, it used to be taboo.
THJ jokes.
But Jake, you'd get in trouble for making a joke about 9/11 within 2 days after 9/11, and now you're 2 minutes after.
Yeah, I will say this though.
We're getting the skits up and the skits.
Yeah.
Did you see the
Black Twitter?
The
Yes.
black people? Yeah, like they did a recreation of it. It's incredible.
And it was out immediately.
Ketchup skit?
Yeah, within an hour, it seemed like. Well, of me discovering it, within a couple hours. Sorry.
I will say, though, I do think that it's still the case that you can get in trouble if you pop off on the internet.
Oh, from wherever you can get in trouble from. Yeah.
Well,
not just as a human, though.
I don't just mean like your job. I mean like the government.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I think you should not make jokes about this. That's my PSA today.
All right. Well,
despite the fact that
I say do what you want.
I think you can be satirical about it, Jake. You know, I think you can use satire, but you can't like endorse it or say.
Yeah, I think there's,
I don't want to say it.
There are probably going to be some people that regret tweets or Facebook posts or Instagram posts that they've made over the last couple days.
Did you see Biden had a speech and he said we should solve our problems at the battle box?
With battle bots.
I think it was with battle bots.
I love it.
Which would be
so
great.
one of them has a saw on it.
The other one has a big like hammer that goes up and down.
Yep.
He can't talk. All right. Well, that was pre-news.
Well, I wanted to mention this.
Oh.
No, you're fine. It made me think about the time that like TC, our friend, staunch liberal.
So TC, our friend, not TC Broadnax. I just want to make sure you're
not TC Broadnax,
separating.
the former city manager.
No, TC, the guy that jacks off and throws out his back.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's aforementioned.
I'm not saying that Broadnax hasn't done that, but I
We
don't
just
know
don't
about
know.
it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But he did vote
Probably has, but we don't know about it.
But he did vote for Donald Trump in the Republican primary.
To make him win, or to help make him win.
He thought that he was a more defeatable candidate. So he registered as a Republican.
Okay, so it is done.
Brilliant.
I'm just my point is just that, like, this does happen.
Okay.
And if TC ends up in the news, then this is probably going to be something that they mention.
And he is the kind of guy that would register and then donate merely $15.
And
to
also
this cause.
miss.
Like, so both things that he did, right, 3 things that he did all really were
TC-esque.
pretty meaningless. Or, you know, perhaps if indeed that was his goal was to the rise of the Democrats, he did the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
Very bad news for Dan as the Hooters on North Lamar caught on fire.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wait, is that ours?
Yeah.
The West End Hooters?
I believe so.
Oh, no.
Yeah. This morning. Oh, no.
Is it from being awesome? From having awesome food?
I think the wings were just too hot.
Yeah.
They were blazing.
It definitely wasn't the servers.
Ooh. Little commentary.
Do you know about our battle with Dan regarding Hooters takeout?
He's for it?
Way more than anyone I've ever met.
We used to pick lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Jake always took pride in the different kinds of restaurants he would order from. And Dan just walked in one day and said, "Hey, how about Hooters?"
I was like, "Are we going?"
I haven't had the fish sandwich in years.
I was like, "Are we going there?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I just want to pick up
I want to go.
a fish sandwich from Hooters."
We sent Ty Walker.
And he was there a long time.
He was so happy to go be the guy to pick up food.
Yeah.
Are you serious? You were craving a fish sandwich.
I think I'm the only guy who's ever ordered Hooters to go.
That's what took so long is they had to find the filet in the back of the walk-in.
No, they didn't have to find. They have plenty of those. If you go there, they had to find the to-go boxes. Like no one's ever done this before.
Yeah.
You eat here.
we had a couple people come over for a 690 remote a couple weeks ago, and they were so confused.
They brought
Hooters to go, and they were like,
they weren't confused. They were fired up because they love Hooters, just like I do. Do you think their delivery service? What if they had Hooters girls deliver? That's the future.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm an idea man.
Yeah.
I just come up with ideas for other companies, not ours.
I mean, how would this
that
go?
jazzes you, Dan? You're excited about that?
The Hooters girl delivers you the
having
food.
an 18-year-old girl show up at your house in orange shorts and pantyhose.
And just kind of look at
her.
Ever do a little hula sandwich?
She does that.
Woo!
You ever do the hula hoop thing?
You have your phone. If you want to see
hooping.
something exciting,
You don't know about the hula hoop?
Look on your phone.
I don't.
So back in the day, the Hooters waitress, if you said, "Hey, will you hula hoop?" she will. Like they had a hula hoop. The one in Cleveland, at least.
No, they did that here back in the day.
Did they?
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping it was just Cleveland.
So
They would have hula hoop exhibitions periodically throughout your meal.
In fact, my buddy Ed was dating a Hooters waitress.
Red's Ed?
And he got, Cincinnati Red's Ed. He got mad at our other friend because he wanted to show off they had a Hooters waitress girlfriend. So we went to Hooters, and she's serving us and stuff. And then our other friend had her hula hoop in front of us.
Respect.
And Ed was all mad, like, why did he do that?
She's got to do her job.
Yeah.
Can
So
you
she's
hula
there
hoop?
just doing this.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's like adjacent to the mariachi.
I really hope that part is on the video.
Yeah.
Whatever just happened right there. Do you think you can hula hoop right now?
No. My daughter used to be able to do it for half hour. Like, that was her big bit.
Really?
Yeah. My kids don't have much.
I've never been able to do it.
Yeah.
Really?
Never. No. I can't keep it going for more than like 3 spins.
I could get it going for, I think I got up to 30 seconds or so.
We should have a little...
That's what she said.
Okay. A little hula hoop comp.
All right, let's get one.
Right now?
Where would you get a hula hoop?
Target?
That's a super good... No way.
Yeah, you can get a hula hoop at Target. You can get one at Wally World, too.
Target.
Right now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll bring one on Wednesday.
I feel like you would have to Amazon that.
I'm going to look in my garage, see if we have any old hula hoops in there. I haven't seen one in a while.
Old ones. Oh, yeah.
They don't go bad, right?
I don't think they go
Do
bad.
they spoil?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this hula hoop's expired.
It's out of control. They're $7 now.
Sports mayor will speak at the 2024 Republican National
Inflation,
Convention.
am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
No.
Sports mayor?
Man. That makes sense, though.
He made the full transition. They need a black guy.
Black guy, made a transition. He could tell the tale of how the reason Dallas is great is
He loves sports.
Loves sports. Everybody else does, too. No, it does. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And then his profile will get raised. He's, he did it so that he can continue to be a politician with higher levels of politicianing in the state of Texas.
For sure.
And as a Democratic mayor, that's about your limit. Unless you're like really good. And he's him.
like smoke crack.
No, I'm just saying in Texas, if he wants to then become a state representative or governor, he's probably reached his ceiling in Texas.
Yeah.
As a Democrat.
Yeah.
So, but if he still wants to, get some
Upward.
higher paychecks, and yes, he's going to need to switch to be a Republican. So.
Speaking of the RNC, you've seen reports that Trump's message is going to be more unifying after this near-death experience. I think that's a terrible mistake on his part.
Do you think?
I think
lean into the divisiveness.
No, you lean into bloody fist in the air, fight, fight, fight.
That picture is going to be
and
up
continue
badass.
on these fuckers from the left tried to get me. And look,
well, you're
you
only
can't
reading.
Take me down.
You're reading someone's speculation. Wait till he gets up there.
Yeah,
because there were people that said that when he became president.
I would find it hard to
he'll
believe
tone it
that
down
he's
now.
gonna,
He's the leader of everyone, and he's like, "You lost. I'm doing what I want because I won."
Here's the thing.
He uses this to his advantage.
I'm going to buy the shirt.
It's a great picture, dude. It's a badass.
I got to have the shirt.
AP photographer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Pulitzer. Right
100%. 100. Anyway.
Anyways,
I'm buying the
Eric
meme
Johnson.
that meme that showed someone pouring Heinz ketchup on his.
By like a Top Shot. I recently heard I might be getting some money from them.
Who?
Top Shot.
What does that mean?
I think there's like a class action civil lawsuit.
Man.
Don't glaze over.
No, because there's one of those for like DirecTV.
Sunday Ticket.
The NFL, yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna.
I subscribed to that for 15 years or so, and yes, eventually they might say, hey, look, here's a $50 or $100, and whatever law firm has just made $1 billion, but all the subscribers so it doesn't excite me at all. Well,
and also,
the NFL can't afford to give
there's
up more.
probably a pretty good chance that you're going to have to fill out some paperwork.
Right, and that means I won't do that.
I don't see you doing that.
I won't do that, so I'm not going to get it. And the lawyers know I won't, so they're actually not going to get just their regular – what do they get? What's the percentage that lawyers generally get from like a big settlement?
40?
Is
30,
it 40?
40, yeah.
Okay, so they're going to probably end up with
maybe
70.
More.
Just because these class action lawsuits, people don't fill that stuff out. They don't pay attention.
No.
Although I'm a little better at that these days. Was work on the old mileage for the taxes this weekend.
There you go.
I did a little bit of that myself.
In fact, that was one of the things I was bitching to Danny about on the phone yesterday. Because I know he's been like a business owner for quite some time. And I'm like, dude, how come no one told me about quarterly taxes?
You need an accountant.
They're both laughing.
Well, we got one, and and he does tell me that, so I fired him because I didn't want to pay quarterly taxes.
So I do have a little bit more political news for you. Trump has a vice president pick.
Oh, it's a fish?
Yeah.
In an hour?
In an hour.
Oh, we don't know yet?
They're going to wait for us to be.
fish.
They're going to wait for us to be done.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do an emergency pod.
So J.D. Vance, are you familiar with this guy at all?
I feel like he's a black guy. Or is that untrue?
I 100% understand where you're coming from.
Well, you just said.
But it's not true.
You're thinking of
He's
a
not
different.
black?
Yeah, you're thinking of a different man whose last name is Vance.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? Okay. I think I was thinking of J.D. Salinger.
He wrote Catcher in the Rye.
The guy who wrote Catcher in the Rye.
He's famously black.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Damn.
No. Not at all.
I know, dude. Move on.
Turn away from the end
Jesus
of the plank.
Christ.
No.
Come back to the ship, Dan.
So J.D. Vance is a guy who wrote a book called Hillbilly Elegy. And it was really...
I have that book.
It was really, really popular in like 2014, 2015, maybe sometime around then. And it was about like he grew up in like the... Has anybody else here read this?
No, I haven't read it.
I listened to the audiobook. My wife read the book. It's like about him growing up in the Appalachian Mountains, and his family was super effed up.
Is he a politician?
He is now.
Okay.
I think he was a Marine. And it like appealed to liberals because it seemed kind, but it was also like a very bootstrappy type book of, hey, if you're struggling, just pull yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went hard right. And apparently he's not only going to be the next vice president, he's probably going to be the next president after this one.
Is he currently like a politician, though? Is he like a current
senator
or something?
He's from Middletown, Ohio. I don't know if you know where that is.
No.
And he is a...
I would say the middle.
You know, where he's from, things might have been given.
Yeah.
But he is a state senator from Ohio.
Okay,
So
maybe that's why I've
your
heard
mom
of him.
probably has opinions on him.
That's probably why I've heard of him.
He's a lawyer. Grew up in the shitty part of the country. Claims to have pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and now...
Mm-hmm.
And he's like 38, 39.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he might go lady. Who's the lady that was all fired up about...
Well, which
beating
one?
him?
You got Marge, you got Boebert.
No. One of the ones who was running for president.
Carrie Lake.
Maybe her. Nikki Haley, maybe her.
Yeah, Nikki Haley was in the mix for sure. She was actually running.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So you think J.D. Vance is the guy, or you're positive?
I mean, that's what everyone's saying.
Okay.
He kind of looks like the Hammer.
See, that's why another reason you could say...
He does kind of look like the Hammer.
He has Hammer-esque qualities.
Yep. The other conspiracy theory for why this was all like a Hollywood production, the Republican National Convention starts like now.
Mm-hmm. Like for 3 or 4 days, right?
So that shooting happens, and then right now it's everybody's real fired up, like
to go to Milwaukee.
to go to Milwaukee, the good land.
You ever been to Milwaukee?
I'm going to say no. Obviously, I've been to Green Bay. But no, I don't think Milwaukee's not too far from there, but no, I don't think I ever went.
I've heard it's nice. Danny?
No.
It is nice.
You been for what? College football?
That was a part of my Stephen Avery Trail of Tears.
When you went to Manitowoc or whatever?
Did you go to a Brewers game?
Went to the stadium. I don't remember why. They must have been out of town. But yeah, cool downtown.
You didn't see the Brat race?
Mm-mm.
I like that bit.
Yeah, so I don't have too much more on J.D. Vance other than to tell you, like, he's going to be the president in 5 years.
Okay. Well, then let's start
Betting on
kissing his
J.D.
ass.
Vance?
Yeah.
All right, there it is.
Let's do everything we can to stay in his good graces.
The Dumb Zone News. Like
And I think there was like a shitty movie on Netflix or something. Copeland, you agree? Okay.
The Hillbilly Elegy?
Yeah, I think there was an adaptation. It sucked.
A Netflix movie sucked? I don't believe you.
They will pump them out, won't they?
Wow.
So it's Monday, July 15th. Show number 200, by the way.
How about that?
Congrats, guys.
Really?
Wow. What a moment.
Oh.
Standing O.
A little standing O from Mortgage Mark.
I think Smartless just celebrated their 200th podcast. And you guys have only been doing this for 5 weeks or something.
That's right. On this day in 1799, French soldiers in Egypt discovered the Rosetta Stone, which proved instrumental in deciphering ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. You know what I'm going to say.
Hieroglyphics?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Words.
You were close enough.
When you say hieroglyphics and Rosetta Stone, the word cuneiform comes to mind.
Okay,
And I
I
don't
like that.
know what that means. It was like the earliest form of written text.
Yeah, and I believe it was like blocks, right?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, let's look it up.
I don't know what the Rosetta Stone even is.
It's an app that helps you speak Spanish.
Okay, so they discovered that in 1799. On this day in 1945, Byron Nelson won his fifth and final major, the PGA Championship. The winner back then received
$198.
$5,000
A slave?
in war bonds.
War bonds?
Yes.
I don't even know what that is. Do you?
Sounds good, though. Sounds like you're supporting America.
You're essentially loaning
money to the government.
Correct.
That they can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, like learning that I had a bunch of bonds, and I'm like, I have absolutely no idea what that means.
Yeah.
Can I rent a video with that?
On this day in 1976, a 36-hour kidnap ordeal began for 26 school children and their bus driver. This is 1976. They're abducted in California by 3 gunmen, imprisoned in an underground cell, and eventually the kidnappers were caught and the captives escaped unharmed.
They actually buried the bus with the kids inside it.
No way.
That's what they're saying? That's what they called the
That's what
underground
I
cell?
was under the impression of when I was 8 years old when this went down, because I remember this vividly in the news and was terrified about it.
Because you're a kid who might get their school bus
Oh my God, yeah. Every kid
kidnapped?
Yeah, that was around that age at the time. That was it had our attention for sure.
That probably skewed the stats, too. We always say, there was more kidnappings back then.
Now, they may have the way they told the story to me was that they took their bus and buried it, but I think it was another bus that they transferred them in that was, in fact, buried underground. I think there's been a docuseries on this, maybe on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. In
So
recent
it
years.
does say that they transferred them from the bus and then put them in a buried truck trailer.
That's right. Yeah.
At gunpoint, they had a ladder through a hatch, a buried truck trailer, and they forced all the kids in there.
And it was one of the most harebrained schemes that was come up with by, I think, 2 or 3 of the biggest morons that you could ever imagine.
Yeah, it doesn't.
What was the end goal?
Ransom.
Ransom. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody made it out, though. I think. I don't think anybody died.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any deaths.
Why don't you book
Other
someone?
than, like,
book someone that was on that bus, Blake.
post-traumatic stress.
Wouldn't it be cool to talk to somebody who was on that bus?
What did
bus?
Boy, I'm
California,
gonna be totally
1976.
honest with you.
Don't do it. He's kidding.
I am not killing.
None of
Kidding.
these 3.
I'm biting.
Jeez. None of these 3 guys could have kidnapped me.
How old were the kids? 10? 6, 7?
Just here says school children, so it was
yeah,
near.
it's under 10, and at the time the kidnappers were 24, 24, and 22. No chance, bro. 4th grade me? You're not taking me.
On this day in 1973, Nolan Ryan threw his second no-hitter of the season. The game also featured a legendary baseball moment when Tigers first baseman Norm Cash, in his 3rd at-bat, came up to the plate with a table leg because he couldn't hit Nolan Ryan with a bat, so he's just like that was and then he laughed about baseball, and then he went back and got a bat.
Yeah, so
And then he walked on 4 pitches.
and no one couldn't find the zone.
Nolan had 11 walks and 3 wild pitches in that game and still got his no-hitter.
I do think baseball doesn't get enough credit for its bits.
It is the most bit-laden sport.
It's primarily relegated to the minor leagues, right?
Pre-1980s probably too, right?
Yeah, probably.
But you got the old story of the old potato trick.
Yeah.
Where the guy, it was a hidden ball trick, and the catcher threw the ball, or the third baseman threw like a potato back to the pitcher. Like he literally had a potato.
Where?
I don't know where he would keep it. And he threw it back to the pitcher, and then the runner steps off a third, and he tags him because he's got the ball.
Yep.
And that's a legendary story. Like, the old...
potato
They didn't even know.
trick.
You would have seen, like, the sour cream and the bacon is flying off it as you throw it.
I don't think it was dressed.
Oh. I thought it was a baked potato.
But, like the little person, like the Eddie Goodell story. Mm-hmm. You don't have that in the NFL. Like, what if we just put a midget out here?
Whoa.
We would if, like, Belichick... If he had found a loophole, he's like the last one that did like a drop kick.
It's like
or
the
something
left-handed
weird.
punter.
Yeah.
Or the left-footed punter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the NFL played 162 games a year, I bet we would.
Yeah.
You're probably right. You just
really
get
bored.
so bored. You're just like,
you're mathematically eliminated in like June.
Yeah, and I still have to keep coming to work every day.
Right.
Let's let Spalding play quarterback next
No
game.
one's in the stands. Let's get a big jug lady to run out and kiss the players. Call her Morgana.
Yeah.
The kissing bandit. On this day in 1994, Chicago manager Gene Lamont requests the bat of Indians Albert Bell be checked for cork at Comiskey Park. This led to Cork Gate, where in fact one of the Indians players crawled through the, I don't know what you would call it.
Scaffolding?
Nah.
Catacombs.
Nah.
Those are my 2 best shots, Dan.
You're somehow crawling over the ceiling into like the umpire's room. He dropped down through like a vent, took the bat, replaced it with another bat, and then went back. And like later they were able to determine that he did that because it was like a different color bat that he replaced
Come
it
on.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might have been Indians pitcher Jason Grimsley.
It was. Grimsley took a bat belonging to Indians player Paul Sorrento and accessed the area above the false ceiling in the clubhouse, which I don't know if that really was the word that you were looking for.
No, but that sounds like it's probably the right
and
one.
And crawled across with a flashlight in his mouth until he reached the umpire's room.
Isn't that great?
It's I think it goes
Baseball
back to what I was just
bits.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you an Albert Bell guy?
Oh, of course.
What did he change his name to?
Albert. It used to be Joey.
He's Joey Bell.
Okay.
When he first came up, he was Joey, but then he was an alcoholic, and they were like, you got to change everything.
They used to
his first name.
chant Joey at Old Arlington Stadium when he'd be out in left field. He got mad.
He would get mad pretty easily.
I think he would get, yeah.
And on this day in 2003, the 12th player ever to homer in his first All-Star at-bat was a Texas Ranger. The question is, who was that Texas Ranger?
2003.
What year?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, repeat the question.
The 12th player to ever homer in his first All-Star at-bat. I'll give you even a hint.
All-Star at-bat.
I don't know if we need a hint.
What'd you say?
It was a game-winning home run.
Off of Eric Gagne.
Off of Eric Gagne.
Was he a third baseman?
It was...
Was it Blaylock?
It was Hank Blaylock.
And Gagne...
Look at this group of baseball guys.
Seam heads.
Was that the year that Gagne hadn't blown a save yet?
Is that right?
He had like a save streak going or something, and Rangers fans were like, yeah, it's our boy.
Yeah. Today's birthdays, we have Greg Williams is 66.
Yeah. Hey, Hammer.
This Greg Williams.
They should not get a yard. He got 5 yards on a 9-man front. What game are we playing? Checkers? Chess? Putt-putt golf? We're playing football.
Dame Lillard is 34. He's been to Milwaukee.
Yeah. He has. Yeah. He also authored one of the most iconic sports images of our entire life.
In the pile?
The walk-off. Where he just like looked at the camera and was like, come on. He's also I'm Trying Jennifer. Do you guys know about I'm Trying Jennifer?
Vaguely.
There's a very funny tweet where some lady tweeted to him like, hey, why don't you win a playoff series? And her name was Jennifer. And he just replied, I'm trying, Jennifer.
That's awesome.
So I will use that phrase often in my life. I'm trying, Jennifer.
Jesse Ventura is 73.
The body.
Barry Melrose is 68. If alive. He's alive, right? Barry Melrose? We'll look into that.
I think we would know if he were.
John Stallworth is 72. Blake, who's John Stallworth?
Steelers wide receiver.
Okay. Impressive.
This guy.
Barry Trotz is 62.
NHL HBO show, right?
He once got mad at me.
I think I remember that.
Because I was wearing medieval knight outfit, and I walked into the locker room to ask him questions. And he thought that was just too much of a joke for the sacred game of hockey.
Here comes the Sir Kristen of Cleveland.
Was that the same night as Nate, or was that a different?
What's
Nate was
Nate?
1920s.
What's
Yule?
Nate?
Nate Yule.
Oh, dude, you're mixing up so many things.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the same sport.
Yeah, but I just
Nate
know
Yule is a different city.
that's what I'm saying. Is I wasn't around for any of this, so I'm just trying to figure out like how many different times you got yelled at by hockey.
No, Nate
officials.
Yule was a guy a PR director who yelled at Gribble for doing 1920s reporter guy in Washington, Pat.
Okay.
And I believe Barry Trotz was here, and I had to wear a medieval knight's outfit to ask questions to players after the game.
With Groobs?
With Groobs.
Okay.
And that's when I met Jerry from the Mucky Duck.
Oh, nice. Barry Trotz was in Washington. That's a part of the reason I'm confused.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have
you're right on that show.
Did you have a sword or just the outfit?
I don't think I had a sword.
No.
They made you check that at the... A former Major League Baseball player named Peter O'Brien is 34 today. So apparently he was a spare, played for the Diamondbacks and maybe somewhere else. Not related to Pete O'Brien. But he was on the birthday list today, and I was looking so I researched him, yes. But he did somewhere along the line say, you know what?
I realized the error of my former's ways.
I should be called Peter. Because if you say my name real fast, it doesn't reflect kindly upon me.
Yeah.
It's like Brian got an unfortunate nickname.
Right. That's old Brian down at the end of the street. He lives with his mom.
He's a little silly, a little funny. He's
Coaches kids teams, but he doesn't have a coaches youth sports. Yeah.
Dude, I was talking about that with some friends the other
That's
day.
Pete O'Brien.
Did you ever
Get it?
I can't remember if we talked about this the other day or not, but did you have that like as a kid?
The one funny guy in the neighborhood.
Like, did you
Yeah,
ever?
that's what
play
they were called.
He's a little
just
funny.
He's funny like that.
Did you
Right.
ever play for a guy who didn't have a kid on the team? Baseball,
think so.
basketball, whatever.
Yeah, I think it was football, but this guy really, you could tell he wanted to be he thought he was an NFL coach.
Vince Lombardi and trading. Yeah. I can't believe my parents let me do that.
I can't believe in the 70s there were people that were just, it was known.
My parents encouraged me to sleep over. I'd be crying like, I don't want to.
I hate Brian.
It'll be good for you, Danny.
I don't want to sleep at Brian's house.
Yeah. Ariana Huffington is 74.
Carl Mouth.
Actor Terry O'Quinn is 72.
Don't know it.
He's from Lost. He's the bald guy on Lost.
Oh, Smoke Monster.
And Hawaii Five-0 as well. Let's see. Forrest Whitaker is 63.
Oh, Kavanaugh.
I know Miss Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
From Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
He didn't have many lines.
What's Kavanaugh?
5th season. Shield.
Okay.
But his best is when they walk up to him. Hey, nice car.
I think it was the 5th.
Don't fuck with
I think 4th season was Glenn Close.
I like the fact that you really know Fast Times.
I watched some of it the other day.
Excellent.
It was on. I was channel surfing and it was on.
Okay.
So I watched some of it.
Anyways, 5th season was.
Spicoli wrecks the car and he's like, "My dad's got tools. I can fix this."
He's a TV repairman. He's got the ultimate set of tools. Because TV repair tools, synonymous with auto
repair,
restoration.
Yeah.
Eddie Griffin is 56.
Man, he's got a couple specials that absolutely hit.
Oh, yeah? Like stand-up?
Yeah.
Undercover Brother. Great movie.
Fantastic.
How old?
56.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought older.
I would have thought way older.
Yeah. And Brigitte Nielsen, 61.
Flava Flav.
Arnold?
No, Sly.
Yeah, Rocky.
Oh, okay.
She was Drago's wife.
Oh, that's
that
right.
movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Born on This Day Now Dead.
She was in Playboy, too.
Rembrandt.
Don't even ask me.
There's no. How do they know?
Don't even ask me.
Would you be surprised to know that Rembrandt...
A century.
That Rembrandt actually watched the first season of Hogan's Heroes.
There's no way.
No, I don't know. He probably lived in... But again, that's a name that you would have said Picasso. I would have said, he was probably Rembrandt's friend.
Yep.
But apparently, they lived in hundreds of years apart. When's Rembrandt? Does anybody know?
It appears to be like the 17th century.
Yeah. Okay. 17th century?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Died in 1669.
Oh, wow. I was 100 years off, Jake.
No, you weren't. You
Well, I
said
thought he was
17th century.
I said 1750 is when I thought he was relevant.
Died on this day in 1542. Lisa del Giancotto. She was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. She's the real Mona Lisa. And I've seen it.
In person?
Up close.
It's small, right?
It is pretty small, yeah.
Unimpressive.
Did you throw,
prefer a top shot?
Pancake batter on it to protest something?
I did think it was impressive that somebody was able to throw a bowl of soup at it.
Handcuff yourself to it somehow?
Yeah.
With a cinder block?
Died on this day in 1940, Robert Wadlow. He was the tallest person in recorded history.
8'11"?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone had that book.
How old was he? 24? Really young, right? Did you say? 20,
I don't have his age at death here, but
he had a massive pituitary situation.
Didn't he actually have the
22.
double-double record for a while?
In the WNBA.
Yeah, when he was
right, in the WNBA, because he did what they allege that anybody can do, right? Just, now I'm a woman.
Yep.
That poor bastard.
1974 on this day died Christine Chubbuck.
Okay, can we go back to Wadlow real quick?
Please.
So,
Look at the growth chart by age.
You know,
it's insane.
You know how I've told you before, like how funny I find the Basketball Reference nicknames? Because usually you've never heard of them. Mm-hmm. This Robert Wadlow Wikipedia page, it's got his born day, his died day, and then other names. The Gentle Giant. Okay. The tallest man who ever lived.
It's not
First
a
one's
nickname.
better. First one's better.
It's not a nickname.
The Illinois Giant.
Not a good one.
No, because like if you're the tallest person in the world, then why would you?
You're global,
right,
man.
Yeah, just, why not be the Main Street
mainstream
Giants,
giant? Yeah. Why do you have?
Why
to be...
limit yourself to one state? Well, maybe that was when he was younger, and then they kind of figured out, wait,
there's nobody else bigger.
He's the world giant.
Perhaps. It's just a interesting Wikipedia note.
Anyway, Christine Chubbuck, I've never heard you mention her. She died on this day in 1974. She was a TV news reporter who committed suicide on TV, live on TV at the age of 29.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
That's not surprising at all. I would have guessed
super
funny,
super unsettling. But yeah,
is it on Live Leak?
It is on Live Leak.
I don't think Live Leak exists anymore.
Well, it used to be on Live Leak.
Is it on Pornhub?
Greg Abbott would not let me know.
Mm-mm. You have to go to different places.
Yep. But she like does a whole intro.
Like, we're here today to watch me die.
Pretty much.
That kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. And then takes out a gun and...
Side of the head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. While doing the news.
Well, you got to hand it to her. She is being mentioned to, had she just jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Probably
we're
not making
mentioning
this.
that today.
Yeah.
Like she did something that was truly unique and has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Dang, these were her final words. In keeping with the WXLT practice of presenting the most immediate and complete reports of local blood and guts news, TV40 presents what is believed to be the first in television in living color and exclusive coverage of an attempted suicide. And then she did it. And then she wrote her own bulletin for the next story about how she did it.
Respect.
Like they had to read that?
Like she had it written for him. Yeah.
I don't know that they read it, but she definitely wrote it. Yeah, it's highly graphic. What do you think about her hair?
Oh, now we're looking at TV again. And died on this day in 2003, Tex Schramm. And on this day in 2006, Robert H. Brooks. Yeah, we all know that name. We hail Robert H. Brooks, the founder of Hooters of America.
Today in history.
Are you aware of like a Hooters Air?
I don't know what
that means. Is that like a new shoe by Nike?
No, there was a brief amount of time where Hooters operated an airline.
Oh wow!
What?
Yeah.
No way. Oh, okay.
I swear to God, look it up.
They probably just took like an old TWA or United and just co-opted it and said we're gonna
and
make
Hooters
this
girls were this
like a Hooters pop-up.
Stewies?
Hooters pop-up flight is what it was.
That's kind of like my idea of
go.
DoorDash for Hooters.
Yeah.
Mine is a less expensive idea.
What if it was DoorDash? They will deliver Hooters, but when they get an order from Hooters, no matter who the driver is, they have to switch into the outfit.
Even if it's like Felipe?
Yes. Yeah. Or Ahmed.
Would one of you guys wear a Hooters outfit on our trip to California?
What's the payoff? I mean, I
want the feeling that we are with a Hooters
He's looking
girl.
at you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I am looking at
Blake. I feel like we need step 2 or 3. Perhaps.
I've seen Blake dressed as a woman, and I want more.
I liked it.
Anyway, joining us now for closing remarks is Mortgage Mark.
Thank you.
In the flesh.
Caroline has handed off the mic.
It's a big deal, I'm told.
Now, we were at your house in the past with Caroline and you, but you were kind of a background player.
I was. I got some notoriety from that.
I
didn't know I was on camera.
In fact, we understand that Caroline she's the listener of the show. You're just annoyed by us.
Important lesson here for. So when you guys, I think the very first time you did a remote, Caroline comes to me and says, "Oh man, they apparently come to houses or businesses or whatever.
We're broke.
How much do you think this cost?" Setup question. So I said a number. She goes, "Good news, we can get 2 for that price."
Okay.
So that's what you're doing here.
So
today.
you did, okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing here. I guess so.
We are
Husbands,
so bad at business, dude.
guess
all right.
low.
Yeah, but we're good at
You're
having
inching
fun.
there. I'm told you're inching there. Like it's now what's 960?
We're good at
Is
fun.
that true?
Yeah.
We did, and interestingly enough, we had to hire a female to right the ship business-wise.
Mm-hmm.
We were not.
And she hula hoops for us. It's great.
Yeah, and delivers Hooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's neat to see the same faces. Michael and I were texting. I was like, now we're buds, and this is my second show to ever listen to. So you guys are doing great.
Okay,
200. I'm 1% of your shows?
I feel like we'll be texting soon as well because
I'd love to.
You've offered me a stand-up desk. He's a big proponent.
Huge.
Veridesk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual one that raises up and all
Yeah.
that.
How long have you done the stand-up desk?
Year and a half. Life-changing.
Really?
Love it.
For
I
the
got
back?
an extra one for you if you want it.
Like it just feels
Don't
great.
tempt me with a good
It's
time.
just, again, a lot of movement.
I was thinking of, he has 2. I was thinking of grabbing one and taking it to our studio.
Okay.
And could I do the show McAfee style? Let's just see how that feels.
Dan just wants to be McAfee.
I've already got,
Bought some shirts.
I just got to cut off the sleeves.
An hour ago, I heard Dan say, "I'll be like McAfee."
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it was,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to ask.
Yeah. So here we go.
It's yours if you want it.
Okay. It's going to be mine.
I love it.
I do want it.
I love it.
Jake thought you wanted to guard people's laptops against viruses.
He's a good friend of mine, by the way.
So my favorite part of today's show, guys,
was John
for the
McAfee.
record, not to interrupt, but my favorite part was right when all the special talk was talking about porn and all that. My mother-in-law comes walking in.
Yeah.
That was super great.
Probably your favorite part because it's not your mother.
Right. That's true. It's a mom-in-law.
Right. It's her
Right?
mother, so it's not going to hurt you.
Well, I'm a son-in-law.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I
But
appreciate
still.
that timing.
Sorry about that.
Jake did apologize. I appreciate that.
That's all right. She's been there before.
Nothing I'm
She
sure hadn't
seems-
heard.
Right.
Pretty okay with it.
But
Right?
stellar. So I'm also told it's tradition to give you guys stuff. So Caroline does have something, but before that, I have something for you guys as well. Caroline may or may not know this, but you may not want it from what I now know about you, as she whispered in my ear. Beef jerky. So in the freezer over here, I have exotic meats. So Blake and Michael last time.
I already got some.
Michael,
But I'll take more.
Michael's made some. Blake, you have not. Is that right? Mm-hmm. We got bongo and all this other stuff for you guys. So exotic meats are available, and I understand that may not be your thing, but we have exotic meats for you in the freezer to take home today.
I love it. I'm in.
I mean, why not? Have you ever
It's
gotten
not
that as a
generally
gift?
my thing, but I do enjoy, like if somebody gives me a bottle of alcohol or something. I'm not real stoked on that, but I know lots of people who are.
It's a good
that
re-gift.
could make me a, yes.
Meats, not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much for meats.
I'll take it.
It's yours. And then
Take the meat, Dan.
Well, I got a wife who loves that kind of meat.
Yeah. Spicy
Not so
meat.
much,
Yeah.
no,
Your meat.
think about it.
I'll put. Yeah, I'm on it.
All right.
I'm on it. So Caroline, is this where I do this, or do I need to go longer? I'm not familiar with these closing remarks and how long they go. I certainly
we are
know
at-
that people don't
at
tune
your
in to listen to
behest.
me.
Yeah, this
Well,
is your
I
bit.
did. So this is. I will say this. So Caroline, you guys pleasure my wife on a daily basis.
Jesus Christ.
Excellent.
It's absolutely true.
I love hearing that.
Wake up.
Haven't heard that in a long time.
Back to Dan's
true.
new digitizing company.
I don't even remember, Dan.
On a scale of 1 to 10 for happiness, you guys are responsible for probably about 60% of it. In the
Okay.
morning, I hear your voices. In the evening, she's finishing the
Can I just say that's not really how a scale of 1 to 10 works?
No, it does, because here's the thing. If her happiness is an 8, you guys are easily like a 5,
Okay.
5 out of that 8.
All right.
Okay, great.
I'm to
Then
fill in the
that
3
is
for
good
the
math.
void.
Okay, got it.
But you guys are literally on vacation. I think, Rachel, you were talking about how your husband goes on vacation. You guys come with us. That's
Excellent.
the first thing I listen to. And so, again, I don't know you guys well, but I know enough of you to know this is really cool. So I will say that I appreciate you guys for always being awesome, because she's tuning in. And I think you guys got listeners from our last remote.
And we're taking her away from you. She's not bothering you.
Doesn't have to
Bonus.
bother you.
Yeah,
Win-win. Everybody
Yeah.
gets their piece
For
in
sure.
me time.
You're like, hey, put out a little more content.
Yeah, why not?
There's nothing wrong with 5 days a
Can
week.
you guys do 2
2
shows
days.
a day?
2
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
2 days, guys. Morning and night. So it's been good.
Well, we appreciate that. That's very kind of you.
Well, thank you guys. So I'm going to hand the microphone and the spotlight over to my lovely wife.
Okay, so my gift.
Caroline, everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Mortgage Caroline.
Yes.
I think Blake
really
might
roll.
get the most use out of this, but I'll let Jake open it.
Okay.
My dad was playing golf, and Mark noticed this and told me I had to have it. So from one DF to another.
Is that
It's a
Dumb Zone putter cover?
It is a club cover.
Yeah, that's mine.
But says, it says DF on it.
That's mine.
So I said I
fantastic.
have to have that. So I figured, Blake, that might be for you.
Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
awesome.
Well, thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate you guys. Thank you, Michael.
Adios, mofo.